Television Network presents Major League Baseball. The Birds, their stay is complete today here at downtown St. Louis as we get set for the finale of this three-game series. First week of Interleague play going by the wayside as the Orioles see Tony La Russa and his St. Louis Cardinals. Welcome to Busch Stadium, everybody. Hope your weekend's going well. Michael Regai joined by Buck Martinez. Yesterday, the Birds liked the feeling of their complete game Sidney Ponson win over the St. Louis Cardinals. First win of the road trip. But the bats continue to boom for the Orioles. 4 home runs yesterday. And Davy Cruz, thought to be an upgrade over Mike Bordick when the Orioles got him at the shortstop position, continues to swing a good bat.
Well, it's hard to overlook what Davy Cruz has done lately because he has really worn out the baseball. On Friday night, he had 3 doubles, tied up the game with his 3rd double of the evening. And then he was able to carry that right into Saturday. His first at bat on Saturday in the 2nd inning was his 6th home run of the season. He is really hitting with a lot of confidence. And then in his next at bat in the 4th inning, he goes deep to center. Davy Cruz now has 7 home runs on the season, and during this hot streak, it seems as though every time he gets his pitch, he doesn't miss it. There you see Friday night, 3 for 4, 3 doubles, 2 RBIs. Saturday, a 2 home run game. And in his last 9 games, Davy Cruz hitting .424. Now, this is not unusual. Cruz hit 302 for the Tigers back in 2000 and drove in 82 runs. He's a pretty good offensive player. And fortunately for the Orioles, he got off to a slow start. Now he's turned it on.
Really has, as you saw that average at 167 as recently as the 2nd week in May. Speaking of turning it on, when you look at the top hit streaks this season consecutively around Major League Baseball, you're going to find Melvin Mora's name there. Much like Stan the Man Musial here in St. Louis, Buck Melvin on a torrid streak.
Well, Melvin Mora has his name on the top of this long hitting streaks list because he is in a 19-gamer. That's the longest current streak, and Melvin Mora wants everybody to forget that he's a utility player. Yesterday, he goes deep in his at-bat to extend that streak to 19 games, and Melvin is absolutely on fire. He is really doing a great job for Mike Hargrove. And you know what? He's had to shake this tag of being a utility player, and he may have finally done it now with this current hot streak.
No more utility player. They're talking megastar about Melvin Mora all over Major League Baseball. No, an 18-year-old shortstop came to the big leagues. That be the St. Louis manager Tony La Russa. And now, almost 2,000 Major League managerial wins later, La Russa is still one of the best in the game. He spoke to Buck Martinez yesterday. We'll tell you more in a moment. Sunday baseball in store for you, Orioles style, against the St. Louis Cardinals, just a couple of minutes away inside Busch Stadium. Tony La Russa, close to 2,000 wins as a Major League manager. Enjoyed our chance to visit with him this weekend. And Buck, here's a guy, though, that looks at the game a little bit more in depth than just what you see between the lines.
Well, he sure does, Michael. And I had a chance to talk with Tony, and he's erected a little shrine to honor some of his favorite players. And I asked him why it's important to have this shrine in his office, something he can look at every single day.
It's a great game, and especially when the game starts, it's still the best game in my opinion. But there's stuff that happens before and afterwards. Over the years, it just seems like it gets a little bit more cluttered and complicated, and you end up forgetting, well, what's really important. What's really important is for a bunch of guys to be professionals and try their best against a team on the other side and see who wins the game. So with some of the BS that surrounds us, when you run into somebody that you think really sets the example of what you want a Major League player to be, you have a way to remember them. And I've gotten different guys memorialized that way, but right now, the jersey that I have hanging there is Pat Hinkins. Pat was with us 1 year, and from watching him on the other side, he was at Toronto competing. I knew he was a great competitor. Then when you have him on the same team, a great competitor, great person, great teammate. And, he was only with us 1 year, but, we all love Pat Hinkins, and he's what a Major League pitcher is supposed to be like. And in the shoes, Joe McEwing was with us, hit 300 here, and the guy who made it from just an extra guy on a minor league club to a big league regular. And when we traded him, here again, it's tough to lose those guys, but you want to have somebody to remember. And what I do sometimes, when the BS starts piling up, you look over there and you remind yourself of what it's supposed to be like.
Well, Michael, the people that he is honored in there, Mark McGuire, 25, that was his number. He had it on his shoes. Joe McEwing shoes for 47, and the late Darryl Kyle's shoes are there with Pat Henkin. But I think it says a lot about what Tony La Russa thinks about players, that these were professionals in his mind, and you have to think that he's had so many great players. It's quite an honor for Pat Henkin to be up there.
The counselor, Tony La Russa, and he does baseball in a much greater sense, as we said, than just the game day in and day out. Fun to visit with Tony. Orioles and the St. Louis Cardinals about ready to go here at Busch Stadium. Don't go away. We'll get to the starting lineup just about first pitch time all along the Orioles television network. Baltimore Orioles baseball on the Orioles television network is being brought to you in part by Geico. You too could save 50% or more on car insurance. Call Geico Direct at 1-800-947-AUTO. Also by Heineken. It's all about the beer. Heineken. And by Nextel. Stay in touch, not on hold. Also by your Baltimore Chevrolet dealer. And by Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. And by Southwest Airlines, more than 2,700 nonstop daily flights to 59 destinations all across the country. Sunday baseball featuring the Birds here in one of the tradition-rich cities in the National League, of course, St. Louis, Missouri. Glad to have you along on the Orioles television network inside Busch Stadium as the O's try to win this road series in Interleague play against Tony La Russa's St. Louis Cardinals. All right, let's take a look at how Mike Hargrove pans his Orioles Southwest hitting lineup today. The Birds at 29 up, 31 down. They're in fourth place in the AL East. Brian Roberts, hot bat, leading off. The switch hitter at second base. Luis Matos, hit streak intact. He's hitting second at center field. Melvin Mora, hit streak intact at 19, as we showed you. He'll hit third to play left field. Jeff Conine swinging the bat well this road trip, but not a lot of hits to show for it till yesterday. Conine's in the cleanup spot after a strong afternoon. Jay Gibbons hits fifth to plays right field. It's Cody Batista at third base. 7, 8, 9. Davy Cruz with 2 home runs yesterday. 5 hits of the series. He'll play shortstop. Brooke Fordyce will do the catching, and hitting ninth and doing the pitching, the gentleman who started this interleague swing for the Orioles, Jason Johnson. Buck, how about a look at how Tony La Russa lines up his St. Louis defense?
Same defense he had yesterday. Pujols, Edmonds, and Drew in the outfield. Renteria and Cairo up the middle. Roland and Martinez at the corners. And Mike Matheny handles Matt Morris today. Matt Morris, big right-hander. He is among the leaders in every pitching category. Fourth in ERA at 2.75. He's 7-3. He has 2 shutouts, 4 complete games. That leads the league in both of those departments. And he's a guy that will work quickly and throw a lot of strikes.
Yeah, to Seton Hall University, the former All-American. Magnificent day for Orioles baseball. Settle back and enjoy it with us as Matt Morris is on the outside corner to switch hitting Brian Roberts. Roberts at 314, and Brian has had a solid road trip for the Birds. He led off the game with a base hit yesterday and wound up 1 for 5. But Brian Roberts hitting the baseball very well on the road. Roberts a 370 hitter away from Oriole Park. That's laced to center, but Edmonds is there to reach down and haul it in. So Jim Edmonds, who got run yesterday, ejected by home plate umpire Bruce Fremming, with the first play defensively taking down the Roberts line drive.
Bruce Fremming and Edmonds got into it after a call third strike. Edmonds said, "That's a terrible call." Fremming said, "You're terrible." They got into an argument and he threw him out.
With a left hand. The veteran umpire, Bruce Fremming, who was handling things at the plate yesterday, the balls and strikes. So here's Luis Matos. Matos, his fourth turn at the plate yesterday, flared a base hit to right. Luis in the air to right, and that's J.B. Drew back a couple of strides to put it away. So a pair of fly ball outs for Matt Morris as Matos carrying that 12-game hit streak into this one, flying out to right. All right, Buck, we see St. Louis a complete games, and Matt Morris, he's a big part of that. First in that category and first in innings pitched in the NL.
Well, he is a horse, truly an ace, and the Orioles were 13 and 15 and 3 when their starting pitcher goes more than 7 innings. That's what they'll look for from Jason Johnson here today. Sidney Ponson, what a start he gave Mike Hargrove yesterday.
Well, everybody in the Orioles clubhouse this morning as we were milling around and talking about Game 3 of this series, echoing that statement, Buck. What a terrific effort that Sidney Ponson, well, not just yesterday, but of course of these last 7 starts. Scott Rowland to handle the ground ball from Melvin Mora, and Matt Morris is through a quick Oriole first inning. The St. Louis Cardinals to swing the bats, just getting rolling out of Busch. Okay, Jason Johnson back up that fine effort from Sidney Ponson. We're going to find out here as the Orioles don't get on the board in the opening inning against Matt Morris. Let's take a look at Tony La Russa's St. Louis Cardinals Southwest hitting lineup. Cardinals are 2 games behind Houston in the NL Central at 32-28. Miguel Cairo leads off. He's at second base. J.D. Drew, who started yesterday, again gets the assignment in right field. Albert Pujols, well, look at the last 9 games. That is some kind of sizzling. Pujols, the leading hitter in Major League Baseball at 388. He's in left field hitting third. 4, 5, and 6. Jim Edmonds in center field. Scott Rowland at third base, and Edgar Renteria is the shortstop. Tino Martinez will play first base and hit 7th. Mike Matheny does the catching, and Matt Morris on the mound. Defensively for the Orioles, Buck, how did Mike Hargrove line him up today?
Well, same lineup he had out there yesterday. Mora, Matos, and Gibbons in the outfield. On the left side, Tony Batista and Davey Cruz. Brian Roberts and Jeff Conine on the right side. And Fordyce starts his 2nd consecutive game. Jason Johnson with 5 wins tied his total from a year ago. Very good ERA at 3.63.
Well, Jason Johnson started this interleague road swing in Houston on Tuesday night. Jason just cruised. He was outstanding through the first 4 innings. Orioles built him a 5-1 lead. And of course, in the 5th inning, he gave up the 3 home runs to Biggio, Kent, and Berkman, as Houston went on to the come-from-behind win. So Jason tried to finish off the Orioles' first week of interleague play and find stead here. Miguel Cairo with Fernando Vina on the disabled list. Cairo has been getting everyday work at second base for Tony La Russa as Johnson paints the outside corner to get ahead.
Michael, that's a very good angle that Johnson is throwing that fastball from right now. It's a high to low angle, and he's throwing strikes down around the knees. That'll be something to watch throughout the course of the day. Against Houston, that fastball started to creep up in the zone.
And the 1-2 now to Cairo. Missed downstairs. But for Jason Johnson, it was an opportunity to grab that 6th win of the year. And, yeah, everything started just coming up in the zone. And, well, again, if balls are going to be pulled either at Minute Maid Park to that left field line or down the right field line, sure, it is a home run haven. And that's what happened to Jason, is that's bounced foul outside the bat.
Well, it is so much easier for a hitter to really read a fastball when it's up about letter high. It's right on the plane of their eyes, same plane as their hands are. Neutral pitches down in the zone, it really takes an extraordinary effort for the hitters to go down and stay on that low strike. And that's what pitching coaches will talk to pitchers about all the time. Let's stay down. Throw good quality strikes low.
So Jason Johnson, pitching coach Mark Wiley, Mike Hargrove, everybody connected with the Orioles very well aware that this is a good hitting St. Louis lineup that Tony La Russa puts on the field every day. 285 as a team. And that's one of the best marks in the National League. One of the best marks in all of baseball. 3-2 on Cairo.
And that being said, it just really points to what an outstanding performance Sidney Ponson had here yesterday. Being able to shut down the Cardinals on just 7 hits and a single run over 9 innings.
And 3 of those base hits, bang, 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 back-to-back from the first 3 hitters, Cairo, Drew, and Albert Pujols in the very first inning. Payoff pitch. Got him. Inside corner. Rang him up, did Jason Johnson, as Miguel Cairo is caught looking on the Johnson 2-seam fastball.
Watch the movement on this fastball. It's down at the knees. It starts out over the middle of the plate and works to the inside corner. Very effective pitch. And as I mentioned earlier, low is the key to Johnson's success. And if he can stay down around the knees, he should have a good day against this Cardinal lineup.
Here's J.D. Drew. Drew started yesterday, did not start on Friday night, as that's a base hit. Ripped on the ground hard by Brian Roberts. J.D. Drew, the 340 hitter, as he stepped to the plate this afternoon. But they like him here at St. Louis. He seems to be one of the people's choice here in Busch.
Well, he is a very good offensive player, and he jumps on the first fastball he sees from Johnson and rips it into right field.
There's your first base knock of the afternoon from J.D. Drew. Leading hitter in Major League Baseball is Albert Pujols. Pujols, of course, who really did damage against the Birds on Friday night with his 4-for-4 effort. including that 8th inning bases clearing double that brought St. Louis from behind to win it. As Jason Johnson finds the inside corner with his breaking ball. Albert Pujols is a Buck we were discussing yesterday, all about hitting, a very ferocious student of hitting, whether it's by charting pitchers that he faces, looking at videotape, working before the game. The guy is all about swinging the bat.
Right, he's getting big results. As you see, he's first in 3 very important offensive categories: average slugging percentage and hitting at home.
Another good fastball from Jason Johnson. So just as he did in Houston, coming out of his bullpen warm-up with everything down and then working from corner to corner.
Well, we often talk about pitchers in the first inning coming out and having trouble locating their pitches, but it's not been a problem for Jason here.
1-2 to Pujols, who just got a piece of the breaking ball. This is how it looked in the 8th inning on Friday night with the Orioles up by a run and the bases loaded.
Jorge Julio threw him a good fastball inside. It was a pretty good pitch, and he is so quick and able to keep his hands inside the ball. He cleared the bases with that 3-run double. That was his 4th hit of the night.
Unanimous National League Rookie of the Year in 2001. And again, what makes it all the more remarkable is that Pujols signed a pro contract to begin his career just a year earlier than that in 2000.
He has really made some quick strides through the minor league system, and he's an everyday player for sure.
Now the 2-2 pitch.
Pretty good pitch.
Fordyce holding that, huh? He framed that for the home plate umpire, Doug Eddings.
Yeah. Watch the catcher receive the ball. Now there he looks like he reached for it a little bit further off the plate and then tried to bring him back over the corner.
Let's see if Tony La Russa is going to move J.D. Drew here. 3-2 pitch. Pujols at the plate. You'd have to think so. Drew is going. Got him swinging. The Fordyce throw, not in time as it glanced off the glove of Brian Roberts, and maybe got a piece of J.D. Drew as well, as both Roberts and Drew are a little slow to get up.
Yeah, I'm not sure that didn't hit Drew in the helmet. You can see Davy Cruz hands Drew the helmet. There's the swing and the miss. The throw from Fordyce runs into the base path, and you can see Roberts reached for the ball, hit Drew in the head with his glove, and the baseball might have hit him as well. Everything got to the batting helmet of Drew about the same time. Roberts' glove, the baseball, and he appears to be okay. Ray O'Kendall, the third base coach, out to check on him. Brian Roberts seems to be no worse for wear.
Stolen base number 2 on the year for J.D. Drew, so he's in scoring position in the opening inning against Jason Johnson. And that'll get Jim Edmonds to the plate. So after that 4 for 4 on Friday night for Albert Pujols, and then the first inning double that drove in a run, now the Orioles have got him the last 4 times as Edmonds fouls it away. And remember the last 2 appearances yesterday, Buck City Ponson fanned Albert Pujols, so now he's struck out 3 times going back to yesterday.
Well, Brooke Fordyce, the catcher's done a pretty good job of mixing up the pitches they've used against Albert Pujols.
Jim Edmonds, a .290 hitter with 34 runs driven in. Powering drive to right. Jim Edmonds has just lost that deep into the chairs in right. The 2-run blast from Edmonds is 14th of the year. 2-0 Cardinals. Down through the years, Buck, and I was just about to say that in over 150 at-bats, Orioles pitching has always contained Jim Edmonds. Just a .220 hitter against the Birds, but that was lift-off and launch.
Well, it sure was. It was a high fastball, and I'd mentioned how effective Johnson is when he pitches down around the knees, and Jim Edmonds takes care of that high fastball above the belt, and he's got a picture-perfect swing when that ball is up. Take a look at the elevation of this pitch. There you go, about belt high, and that's a perfect extension by a hitter. His head stays on the ball, he squares up on it, knocks it out of the ballpark.
Here's Scott Rowland. Breaking pitch, going the other way, drilled to right, base hit. And Scott Rowland with the Cardinals' third hit of the inning. Rowland, the .285 hitter, one of the 3 big RBI men on this Cardinal ball club. And St. Louis having some pretty good swings against Jason Johnson here in the first inning.
They are, and if you'll think back to yesterday, the same was the case against Sidney Ponson. Ponson gave up 3 hits to start the game, walked the 4th batter, and was able to minimize the damage by allowing just 1 run. Now, Johnson just got a visit from Brooke Fordyce, and I'm sure it was a little pep talk suggesting, hey, keep making your pitches. There's a lot of game left, and remember, we're scoring a lot of runs.
Oriole pitchers, I think, not only very pleased about that, but always being reminded that keep us in the game, hang around. That edict from manager Mike Hargrove, and probably you'll like the results of things with the way the Orioles offensively are swinging the bat.
During the course of a 6-month season, pitchers are going to be hot for a period, the hitters are going to be hot for a period, and not all that often that you get both of them hot at the same time.
Johnson to Edgar Renteria, the .333 hitter, as that pitch will miss downstairs. So Renteria is 6th in the National League as he enters today with that .333 mark, and fine looking shortstop. And along with Albert Pujols, two of the best hitters at home. Johnson now falls behind Renteria by missing up and in. Albert Pujols well over 400 here at Busch Stadium, and Renteria over 370 as a home hitter. Rowland at first base with 2 down as the Cardinals have put 2 on the board on the Jim Edmonds home run blast. Johnson will even that count by finding the outside corner. Jason looking for his 6th win of the year. Start number 12. Rowland's running. Bounce slowly to the left of the mound. Johnson will gun down Renteria. Inning over. Jim Edmonds' 2-run home run shot. And St. Louis grabs the early lead in this series finale at Busch. It's Jeff Conine to lead things off for the Birds in inning number 2. Conine, home run shot yesterday. Also a 2 base hit, so Jeff ended an 0 for 19 skid. But that by no means is indicative of the way he's swinging the bat. Base hit right field by the outstretched leap of Tino Martinez. Jeff Conine, after going 0 for 19, now has had 3 base hits in his last 4 trips to the plate.
Michael, this is the value of being a veteran, experienced player. You don't panic when you're in those long overs, and Jeff was hitting the ball well and continues to do so here as he starts off the day with a base hit. Remember that Jim Edmonds robbed him in that play in center field, but he was hitting the ball well, even back into the Houston series.
There's Jay Gibbons, as Matt Morris will miss up and away. Gibbons at .263 on the year. A 3-way tie for the Orioles home run lead. Jay Gibbons, Tony Batista, Melvin Mora, all with 9. Mora, of course, with his 9th yesterday, that 2-run bomb in the opening inning. As Morris finds the outside corner. Well, Jay Gibbons has been a constant for Mike Hargrove. Every day, the skipper writes him in that number 5 hole in right field. His Oriole lineup card. 28 home runs last year, and of course having some wrist problems as the season wore on. And I think it's the one thing for Jay. He's been completely healthy this year, Buck.
Nothing to worry about as far as rehabbing or gaining his strength back. That big curveball fooled him there. Morris went back-to-back with curveballs. He missed with the curveball away, comes right back with it. You can see that it's fooled Gibbons. He was out in front. Fastball, curveball, changeup. That's what Morris will feature. 3 in a row.
Yeah, make it 3-2 now as that breaking ball misses. A 22-game winner in 2001, 17-game winner last year. Jay Gibbons, his breakdown against left and right. Matt Morris, chance to win over 50 games in a couple of 3 seasons, as Gibbons has got a base hit to center field. And that was drilled up the middle. Back-to-back singles from Jeff Conine and Jay Gibbons, and the Orioles. This is starting to look like the Friday night version of the Orioles and Cardinals in this Interleague series. Birds got down by 5 and battled their way back.
Now that's why it's important for Jason Johnson to forget about that Edmonds home run and just try to string together some outs and put some zeros on the board and let the hitters battle back.
There's Tony Batista. It's laced to left. Here comes Pujols. He's there to put it away. Batista first pitch swinging on a line, but it stayed up for Albert Pujols to take care of for out number 1. We've seen a lot of Oriole fans here around downtown St. Louis. And as a matter of fact, one of the outstanding Oriole employees at Oriole Park. Yeah, you see the Oriole colors here at Busch. Gordon Kennard and his son Gordon and son David. They've been milling around down on the field. We're watching the Orioles take their pregame hitting practice. Always enjoy talking to Gordon. So the Kennard family here, well represented in St. Louis.
And a baseball road trip.
Yeah. Yeah, Buck, you'll find that Oriole fans, especially during weekends in the summer, they will follow the Birds en masse. And that breaking ball. Davy Cruz went too far, so Morris ahead of Cruz. Davy all the way up to 253. As
even if you don't see Oriole fans, you can recognize they're in the ballpark during the national anthem.
Oh,
when they get to O.
Yep. That always the obvious giveaway. Now, how about Davy Cruz, the way he's swinging the bat?
Mike Hargrove talked about Davy Cruz this morning when I was in his office, and he said they're throwing him a lot of high fastballs, and Davy is a very good high fastball hitter. There you see Morris try to get him to chase that sinking fastball. But, Michael, when you get on a hot streak like this, everything seems to slow down for you at the plate. You're not in a rush. You're patient. You know you can hit 2 strikes, and you just wait to get your pitch.
Morris brought out the looping breaking ball to fan Davy Cruz. So after back-to-back base hits from Conine and Gibbons, Morris has gotten Batista and now fanning Cruz.
A little bit different curveball right there. It was a little tighter spin, a little bit harder than the previous one that we have seen from Morris. And remember, Matt Morris sat through the first 2 games and kept his eye on Davy Cruz. Saw that he was hitting all those high fastballs and went for the breaking ball with 2 strikes.
Yeah, Seton Hall University grew up in the state of New York. And Matt Morris was a first-round selection back in 1995 by this Cardinal organization. Stellar collegiate career, and Matt Morris. Buck, what do you think? You put him right there with some of the best pitchers in baseball. I mean, they're the 46 wins that we spoke of, 21, 17, and now 7 more this year.
Absolutely. He's a competitor. He likes to throw strikes. He comes at you all the time. He has 4 complete games, 2 shutouts so far this year, and he is one of the premier right-handers in the game.
Rio to Brooke Fordyce. Went to the breaking ball.
Fordyce had a double to right center in yesterday's game, 1 for 4. Also scored a run. Probably took more satisfaction out of the complete game from Sidney Ponson.
Count full now on the Orioles catcher as Matt Morris trying to work his way back in the Fordyce at bat. Morris has always fared well in interleague play too. You're talking about a guy who's 7-3 and holding American League offenses to just 3 runs per game. With runners moving on that 3-2 pitch, Edgar Renteria to handle the Fordyce ground ball and throw him out. St. Louis after 1.5 with a 2-0 lead. Jim Edmonds' two-run home run in the opening inning has the Cardinals on top. All right, those fans, the Birds are going to get back home at Oriole Park, and the Chicago Cubs are coming into Baltimore June 10th, 11th, and 12th. To Sammy Sosa, he could be a part of it for the Cubs, but nevertheless, Dusty Baker's got the ball club of his in second place in the National League Central, playing good baseball. And the series will be highlighted by the Ford Centennial celebration June 12th, when men 18 and over receive a Ford Centennial collectible ball. So for your tickets to see the Chicago Cubs and possibly Sammy Sosa, call that number there you see on your screen, or go online at theorioles.com.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sosa is still on the active roster. Normally they go into New York and air out those appeals. So given the fact that they'll be traveling to Baltimore on Monday night, I wouldn't be surprised if he's still active.
If Sammy Sosa is in Oriole Park, obviously that will kind of even enhance the excitement. Well, the Orioles getting back home, and Interleague baseball featuring the Birds and the Chicago Cubs, and of course all of the Sosa controversy here of this past week. Tino Martinez, a couple of base hits in the series. Martinez with 14 career home runs, all of them as a New York Yankee against Oriole pitching. As Jason Johnson's on the inside corner with his breaking ball. Now, is it the same Tino Martinez that, of course, for his first few years in Yankee pinstripes, well above the 40 home run plateau, that's lined off the glove of Jeff Conine, and Martinez is going to reach.
That was a hot shot, but it appeared as though it was right to Jeff Conine. Ball might have been sinking a little bit on him. Take a look at it. Good angle here as Tino jumps on the offering from Jason Johnson, and there's Conine. Appeared as though he kind of got a handcuff when that ball sank just before it got to him.
Jeff Conine is going to be charged with the error on that bullet off the bat of Tino Martinez. So Conine not able to come up with a play, and here's the right-handed hitting catcher Mike Matheny. Now Matheny, a .274 hitter, hitting out of that number 8 hole. Without a base hit. He did not start on Friday night. Chris Widger did, and had to leave the game. Widger was hit. Left the game for x-rays on his right hand, his throwing hand. Martinez is going. Hit and run baseball executed beautifully by Matheny. Tino Martinez to move to third base. But we've noticed here early on that Tony La Russa's had J.D. Drew running, Scott Rowland running, and now hit and run baseball with Martinez and Matheny.
Michael, I think Tony La Russa has a lot of respect for the Orioles' offensive abilities, and right here, this is textbook hit and run. Tino Martinez, not the swiftest of base runners, but he gets a good jump, and Matheny makes great contact. You can see he chokes up about 3 inches on the handle of the bat. That gives him that bat control necessary to shoot that ball through the right side.
So Matheny with wonderful execution for Tony La Russa, and the Cardinals with a second inning threat now against Jason Johnson. So a lot could be on here with Matt Morris at the plate. Morris on the ground, going to get through, base hit right field. Martinez to the plate. Matheny will stop at second. Oh, Matt Morris, but he couldn't have put that in his hand and thrown it out there any better, because he guided that in that hole between Conine and Roberts, and St. Louis builds the lead on the Morris RBI single.
Well, and you can see he was just trying to fight the ball off, and it's a little dribbler that just trickles into right field. Ryan Roberts stops it to keep Matheny from going to third. But Morris picks up his second RBI of the season. He had homered earlier in the year for his only run driven in. Boy, what an asset when your starting pitcher can put the ball in play. He doesn't even have to get hits. Just putting it in play is so important.
Still a couple aboard and nobody out, and the first 9 hitters for the St. Louis Cardinals have amassed 5 base hits against Jason Johnson. Here's Miguel Cairo. Cairo tried to square and put a bunt down and went right over the top of it.
Now, here's where on defense you have to remember who the base runners are. You've got the catcher running at second base and the pitcher running at first base. So if you're on the corners and you can get to the ball early, you might be able to get the lead runner and keep the double play in order. It's huge in this situation, first and second with no outs, to get that lead runner. And then you have a chance to keep that double play.
So Johnson ahead of Cairo, who pushed that bunt up the first baseline foul.
Now's a good time to put a pickoff play on at second because Matheny is working to get a good jump, knowing that he's got to hustle to third base.
As we take you through the Interleague baseball scores, that one, of course, Pittsburgh and Atlanta, straight National League. Again, the 0-2, and again, Cairo square, and he is gone. A strikeout victim, and not being able to get a bunt down. And, you know, that is not going to sit well with Tony La Russa as his leadoff man, Miguel Cairo, not able to bunt a couple of runners over.
Well, it's huge, and you don't often see a position player bunt with 2 strikes, but it's big because you've got Drew, the left-handed hitter, and then Pujols, the right-handed hitter. And you know, we've told you how hot Pujols is, and La Russa was trying to get Albert to the plate with runners on here.
Well, still a couple aboard, but now with 1 out for J.D. Drew. Drew delivered a base hit his first turn as Johnson will miss up and away. J.D. Drew, a fine all-around player, and of course caused all that flap buck when he was selected by the Philadelphia Phillies a few years ago, and wound up playing independent league baseball up in the Twin Cities area.
Just wasn't comfortable with the selection or where the Phillies were as far as an organization at that point. But you got to give him credit. He stood by his principles, and he wanted to see if he could fare better.
That's bounced over the mound. Roberts near the bag. Flip the Cruz. They got 1 there, and that's all the Birds will be able to get. Well, Davy Cruz with that late merengue step right to the bag to get the force out.
This is the first time I've seen the fact that they haven't worked together cause problems. Davy Cruz expects Brian Roberts to continue to the bag and then is surprised when Roberts flips it to it. They're fortunate they were able to get the force out. Watch Davy Cruz as he kind of holds up expecting Roberts to continue to go to the bag, step on the bag, and make the play himself. But this is the first time I've seen these two have any problems in communicating. And remember, they've only played together for 2 weeks now.
Now here's Albert Pujols now as Johnson will back him off the plate. Yeah, so important, the chemistry between double play combinations. Runners on the corners now for St. Louis. Matheny at third base. J.D. Drew at first base as Johnson tries to get Albert Pujols, and he's in the strike zone with a breaking ball.
There have been a couple of subtle plays in this game already that have led to Cardinal runs. Fordyce's throw to second base with J.D. Drew running tailed into the base runner, and that allowed the inning to stay alive.
Pujols with a shot that's speared by Batista, inning over. Tony caught that bullet off the bat of Pujols right around shoe top high. Well, Pujols again stinging the baseball, but nothing to show. St. Louis gets 1 and leads at 3-0. 3-0 St. Louis. Cardinals have put numbers on the board in the first couple of innings. All right, let's take a look at our baseball power rankings brought to you by Power Bar and their all-new Power Bites, energy on demand. On the road, the Seattle Mariners hit at over a 300 clip, and I don't think that went down today as they hammered the New York Mets 13-1 in the first game of the doubleheader. But how about the Birds? 284. The Orioles, Buck, we mentioned 276 overall, so the Orioles actually swinging the bats a little bit better on the road than they are at Oriole Park.
They're doing a great job hitting on the road, and you can see those other teams all regarded as offensive forces. Red Sox, Blue Jays, and Yankees all trail the Orioles in hitting on the road.
The king of swing. He has watched his ball club, Terry Crowley, and his hitters go from 251 as a team offensively up to 276. Jason Johnson after offering at the first Matt Morris pitch, leaving the home plate area and back near the Orioles bat rack. So Johnson wants a different weapon to work with against Matt Morris. Jason went to the plate a couple of times. You remember back in Houston, he struck out and walked. And Buck, so he ran the bases in that fourth inning after he drew a walk. And then, of course, got through the bottom of the fourth and had the 5-1 lead in the fifth before the long ball barrage started. Breaking ball, and Jason Johnson is a strikeout victim looking.
Matt Morris has confidence to throw that hook any time, any count. He threw a 3-2 hook to Brooke Fordyce with 2 outs back in the second inning. And here he drops a hook on Jason Johnson.
Look at Brian Roberts to the plate. Well, talking to Brian today in the Orioles clubhouse, he's you mentioned Albert Pujols and the way he goes about his business as Roberts looks at a call strike, but watching videotape day after day after day of his at-bats, Buck, and looking for some tendencies and maybe trying to sequence out things against this National League starting pitching. And yet, well, for Brian Roberts, you had a chance to talk about his work with the skipper, Mike Hargrove, had some interesting things to say.
Yeah, he thinks Brian Roberts is a much better prepared player this time around than he was when he was last with the Orioles. When he first came up with Baltimore, he had about 147 games of minor league experience under his belt. And, you know, that's a tough challenge for anyone. I don't care if you have played at the Division I level in college, it's still a different game, and you come into the major leagues with not much experience, and you don't know how to handle the ups and downs. But he's well prepared now. And you know, last year they put him in that spot, second base, gave him a job, and he didn't really run with it, and that may have really helped him in the long run. He went back down and refocused himself, and certainly has come back a better player.
Roberts with a bouncy ball to short, and Renteria will throw out Brian Roberts for out number 2. Now, what about playing shortstop? You know, Brian was with the Ottawa Lynx, and when Jerry Hairston comes back, thoughts of moving to the shortstop position?
Well, I hope so. You know, I hadn't played short in about a year until right before I got called back up this time. I played about 10 games or 8 or 10 games at short in AAA, and they wanted to experiment a little bit with that again. So I think that I regained some confidence over that year and understood, you know, that if I needed to go back over there, that I can, and I feel confident in doing so, and hopefully that will, you know, give me more options at this level.
That's an interesting outlook, because the phrase "give me more options at this level" is also important to his manager. If Brian Roberts has an open mind about the possibility of playing shortstop, maybe the Orioles can do some things down the road.
Yep. Way it works, Luis Matos saying, I don't think that was there, as he was worked to by Matt Morris on the outside corner. Matos strikeout victim, 3-0 St. Louis. Orioles will have to play from behind today as they're in a 3-0 hole as we head to the bottom of the third. You know, coming up in the fourth inning, today's Aflac trivia question. We'll see what we could come up with as you play along with us, so don't miss it. Aflac trivia question coming up in the middle of the fourth inning. Just a glorious day for baseball here. Temperature in the mid-70s. I hope you're enjoying a terrific weekend with family and friends. Back in the Baltimore, Washington area and everywhere along the Orioles television network. Michael Regai with Buck Martinez as the Birds trying to finish off this road trip in solid fashion after using the Sidney Ponson complete game to get off the schneid yesterday. Orioles have lost 4 in a row to National League ball clubs. And, right now, here's the villain from the Orioles' perspective as Jim Edmonds launched his 14th home run of the year, the 2-run belt in the opening inning off Jason Johnson. One 1 to Edmonds. That'll miss low. mentioning, Buck, that Edmonds never really swung the bat that well against Oriole pitching in all those years in the American League. Just a .220 hitter against the Birds.
I think he's one of those guys that has really matured here in St. Louis. You know, so often we talk about players going to a new spot. The situation in California wasn't a good one. You know, it seemed as though he didn't really fit in with that ball club. And that's where he grew up. That's where he played his minor league ball.
3-1 pitch. Skied to center. And deep. Carrying Matos. Got to watch it fly out of here. Jim Edmonds. I just mentioned a moment ago that he's playing the role of villain. Add a little bit more to that. He's gone deep twice. 4-0 St. Louis, his 15th of the year.
So many offensive weapons in this Cardinal lineup, and Edmonds that time went down and hit a pretty good pitch. A fastball out over the plate, but low. And he drives it over the wall in center field. And you talk about Pujols, you talk about Roland, and now they're calling for Edmonds to step out of the dugout. He extends his cap to the fans.
Wasn't around to see the completion of a yesterday Cardinal loss. Scott Rowland with a shot to right. Gibbons has got to play that on one hop. Well, Rowland has gone the other way twice, both on first pitches against Jason Johnson with a pair of opposite field base hits.
Well, he uses the whole field. For a big guy, you'd think, well, he's thinking home run, but that's not the case. He's thinking about a good approach, and the ball out over the plate just takes it into right field. Scott Rowland came into this game hitting .285, and that average will jump as he's 2 for 2 against Jason Johnson. So Mark Wiley out to talk to his battery. Brooke Fordyce and Jason Johnson. I'm sure this conversation is, well, let's try something a little bit different. Maybe mix in an off-speed pitch. But the 3-1 pitch to Edmonds, again, a result of being behind. And the Cardinals center fielder had a chance to get kind of greedy with that big home run cut.
Jason Johnson ran into, as we were speaking of, as the game started today, into the home run barrage in the 5th inning in Houston. And now giving up a couple of more to Jim Edmonds. So Johnson has been victimized by 5 enemy home runs in his 2 starts.
And you would think that if he were going to run into home run problems, it would be at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. The small ballpark generally gives up home runs, but Houston and St. Louis created some problems for Jason Johnson.
You mentioned Scott Rowland. That is career hit number 1,000. He came in today at .998 and a couple of opposite field singles. He's aboard now for Edgar Renteria. It's fouled left side.
Jason's been able to stay in the kitchen pretty effectively of Edgar Renteria with that sinking fastball. They got him to hit a little weak tapper out in front of the plate in his first at bat.
So Johnson ahead of Renteria with Rowland aboard and nobody out here in the St. Louis 3rd. That's laced to right. Gibbons got to reach up and haul it in. The ball seemed to carry a little bit late on Jay Gibbons, as his route was directly toward that right field line, Buck, and then had to track back a stride.
Yeah, the ball carried a little better than he expected, and you know what, Michael, you just got to think about the weather here. The last couple of days been a little warmer, a little breezy out there, and the ball is certainly carrying well. Here Friday night, it was cool, damp, and the ball just didn't have any life to it. But it's been a different story yesterday and here again this afternoon.
Oh, it really has. Day for the hitters. Yesterday, Orioles took very fine advantage of that. And Jim Edmonds, the long ball work today with his 2 home runs. Tino Martinez reached on a Jeff Conine error his first turn as Johnson will miss with a changeup. Jason Johnson ready with 51 pitches thrown through 2 innings plus, 2 1/3. Behind Martinez at 3-0. The Orioles get back home on Tuesday night. It'll be Pat Henkin to start out the Interleague Series against the Chicago Cubs. Kerry Wood went yesterday for the Cubs, and Mark Pryor scheduled to go tonight. So if Dusty Baker stays on rotation, the Orioles will not see the 2 top starters at the head of the Cubs rotation, Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor.
That's good for the hitters and bad for the fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to see Sean Estes, the left-hander, Matt Clement, the right-hander, and Carlos Zambrano in the 3-game series. That's the starting rotation that Dusty Baker will feature. There's not an Oriole hitter that's lamenting the fact they're going to miss Wood or Pryor.
No, no, not at all. That is a good thing for the Birds offense. 3-1 to Martinez. Laced to the gap, left center field, base hit. Rowland's going to head for third. Does Mora have a shot? His throw, yeah, he got him. Melvin Mora came up firing, and he delivered a one-hop strike to the glove of Tony Batista, who slapped that tag on Scott Rowland.
Melvin Mora was involved in a relay in yesterday's game in the first inning, and boy, what a great shot. You see Rowland has the play in front of him, but Mora throws a one-hop strike to Scott Rowland. It's a tough play for a left fielder because he's running away from the play, has to get around the ball and then come across his body to make a throw, and Melvin's made 2 fine throws here in the last 2 games.
Yeah, not just a 19-game hit streak and doing it with a stick. Melvin Mora has been solid in left field.
Boy, that's a great angle there. You see Okinda saying, slide to the inside. It didn't make any difference. The throw beat him.
Well, that leaves Tino Martinez at first base with 2 down now for Mike Matheny. He guided a perfect hit-and-run base hit through the right side his first turn at the plate. Matheny, the starting catcher on this ball club, has never really been robust with the bat during his major league career, but has got that average up to near 280. Ground ball to second. Brian Roberts will pick it and throw out Matheny. Inning over. Going to the 4th. St. Louis with a 4-0 lead on another Edmonds home run. So glad you're a part of it on the Orioles Television Network. Interleague Baseball out of Busch Stadium. Let's take a look at how this one has unfolded. And Jim Edmonds has gone deep twice, Buck.
He connected in the first inning on a high fastball from Jason Johnson. And Edmonds, much like the rest of these Cardinal hitters, when they get on a tear, they're generally going to do big damage. And that's his 2nd home run of the day, this time to center field. A 3-1 fastball. And we talk about the offensive weapons in this lineup, and they're up and down the lineup. Cardinals runners in scoring position this series, 8 for 18. Jim Edmonds, his 17th career multi-home run game, and Matt Morris, the pitcher, even getting into the act with an RBI single.
Helping his own cause. And the Cardinals, Redbirds, with their 4-0 lead as Melvin Mora looks at the breaking ball for a called strike. So Mora trying to extend his hit streak to that's already doubled his previous career high. He had a 9-game streak, rather modest last year compared to now having hit in 19 in a row. Melvin with that 360 average, that's 2nd in the American League and 3rd around Major League Baseball. Everywhere we go, Buck, he's starting to, everybody's asking about Melvin Mora. And starting to open up eyes around the game in terms of people see him being able to play multi-positions in the way that he has just come on so strong as a hitter. Starting to talk about Mora in rather glowing fashion. Got under the glove of Matt Morris. Tyro near the bag at second to throw out Melvin Moore. I want to remind all of you Orioles fans that Exclusive League Orioles is a premium ticket package, the likes you have not seen ever in connection with the Birds. Field box seats in the first few rows between the bases and around home plate at Oriole Park are being packaged at 10 game plans, premium parking, and other exclusive amenities. You'll be able to call 410-547-6284 to customize an Exclusive League Orioles package that's just right for you. So take advantage of a most wonderful baseball opportunity to see baseball up close with the Birds at Oriole Park. And Jeff Conine and check that swing on the Matt Morris breaking ball. Conine has had a base hit today. So he's had 3 hits in his last 4 trips in this series.
Matt Morris uses his curveball like other pitchers use their fastball. He throws strikes with the curveball and then wastes pitch with the fastball. And now Doug Eddings, the home plate umpire, is hearing it from the Orioles bench. Mike Hargrove comes out of the dugout. In the last couple of games, the Orioles have not been pleased with the strike zone. And Melvin Moore disputed the second strike in his at-bat. And now Hargrove out to talk to Doug Eddings, the home plate umpire, and said, you know what? You really hear good. And he comes out. Obviously, Hargrove has not mentioned balls and strikes to this point.
No.
The manager can't argue balls and strikes, but Eddings appears to be listening, hearing Hargrove's side of things. But I'm sure somebody was on the home plate umpire after the Moore at bat, and Melvin returned to the dugout.
So Mike Hargrove has stated his case, made the point, and now he is back to the Orioles dugout. And boy, after Mike Hargrove had Sam Palazzo with him on Friday night and yesterday, Sam has had to return to Cumberland, Maryland, to be with his mother, who is ill and battling cancer. And I don't know, maybe B.J. Surhoff has been run, because now Surhoff's going out to Bruce Fremming, and Fremming is getting into it with B.J. before Tom Trebelhorn can intercede.
Well, Doug Eddings kept looking into the dugout, and Surhoff pointed in his chest as if to say, you mean I've been thrown out? And then he went out to Bruce Fremming, the crew chief, and Bruce threw him out. And now B.J. just can't believe it. He's standing in the dugout, minding his own business, enjoying a baseball game on Sunday afternoon, and he gets tossed.
Well, B.J. seems very, very perplexed as to why he has been run. Let's take a look, see if we can decipher anything. We'll do that in a moment as Jeff Conine takes the breaking ball.
I see Doug Eddings is looking into the dugout here, and there he throws somebody out, and it happened to be B.J. Surhoff. And B.J.'s still in the dugout, and that's why Fremming has come down now.
Now, B.J. Surhoff has not given this up with Bruce Fremming.
Right here, B.J. is saying, you know what, Jim Edmonds was right yesterday.
Well, finish that off, which is?
And now, B.J. just reluctant to leave. I mean, you come out and get prepared for a game, and he wasn't involved in the play whatsoever. And Eddings happened to single him out among the players in the dugout.
Well, it all started during this Jeff Conine at bat on the second pitch of the at bat. There was some disagreeing coming from that Orioles dugout. Mike Hargrove went out to talk to Doug Eddings. In the midst of that, B.J. Surhoff figured out that he was the guy that was run. Jeff Conine down swinging against Matt Morris. Morris picks up his 4th strikeout of the afternoon.
Well, it makes it so tough when you can throw 2 or 3 pitches over for strikes, and right there, fastball. And Morris doesn't throw the ball hard. He might touch 90. But that slow curveball makes it appear to be 94, 95 miles an hour. Comes right back with the hook.
And there's Jay Gibbons. Jay had a base hit his first turn. So this umpiring crew trying to keep things clean here in this finale of the three-game interleague series is, well, it seemed like Bruce Fleming had a short fuse yesterday with Jim Edmonds. No, but of course not privy to the conversation down there, but he was going quickly, and so was, it turns out to be B.J. Surhoff, run rather abruptly today by Doug Eddings.
Well, according to Edmonds, he said that's a terrible pitch.
Gibbons with a shot that's fair, kicking up some chalk into that right field corner. Gibbons think he double, and there will be a throw from J.D. Drew, but offline. As Jay Gibbons is now 2 for 2 on the afternoon with his 2-base hit against Matt Morris.
Now, this is the way this Oriole Ball Club has played throughout this road trip. They get down, they hang in, they don't give up. Jay Gibbons hits one just inside the bag at first base. It rattles off the wall. And he's got to hustle into second as J.D. Drew gets it back in. A 2-out double for Gibbons.
There's Tony Batista trying to pick up Gibbons. Get the Orioles on board here as Morris will deal the called strike. Tony flied out his first turn, and Batista, 271 hitter on the year with runners in scoring position. Morris is ahead just that quickly at 0-2.
2 fastballs, and he puts curveball in your mind, and then he and Mike Matheny really work well together, never falling into any patterns.
Batista with a drive to deep left center. Edmonds, long way to go, and that ball is one hopping up into the bullpen. So the 2-base hit from Tony Batista. And Batista trying to just continue on her bags. But he was stopped by second base umpire Mike Winters. But the Orioles indeed on the board with a back-to-back doubles. Tony Batista, give him his 38th RBI of the year as he just missed going out of here on Matt Morris.
Now, Matt Morris didn't use the curveball at all to Tony Batista, and he finally got that fastball with 2 strikes and hits it off the warning track. Now, remember, we had talked about what a good fastball hitter Davy Cruz has been throughout his hot streak. And Morris starts him out with a curveball. Got him swinging at a curveball in his first at-bat.
A lot of breaking pitches to Cruz, although there he came off the breaking ball with a fastball, and he's ahead 0-2.
Well, that's the aspect we talk about. Morris never falls into any patterns against a particular hitter. Tried to use the fastball away that time. Just a tempting little pitch off the plate, hoping to get Cruz to chase it.
Davey, as you know, a very free swinger. Doesn't walk very much. That's ripped by Renteria, base hit left field. Batista being waved in. No throw from Albert Pujols. Birds have put a couple on the board as Davey Cruz continues swinging the very hot stick. Give him his 27th RBI of the year. 3 straight base hits, all of them with 2 down, and the Orioles have cut the St. Louis lead in half.
Davy Cruz hit a good curveball from Matt Morris. Renteria can't knock it down. Here comes Batista with 2 outs, got a good jump on contact, and they have cut the lead in half. Oriole hitters, they never give up. They have been swinging their hot bat, and they continue to plug away.
Now, Morris had a long scoreless streak back in the 3 starts that he made. Last 3 starts of May. He went 18 1/3 innings without giving up a run before Houston. Jeff Blum got to him with a solo home run. His start on the 29th of May, as you see Jose Morban in the on-deck circle with Travis Driscoll warming up at the pen, so Fordyce can keep this inning alive. See Jose Morban at the plate as Morris will miss low with a sinking fastball. The Orioles continuing in their battling fashion. This one with a lot of the same look as on Friday night. Ground ball up the middle. Renteria on the outfield grass. Just going to have to put it in his pocket. Infield base hit for Brooke Fordyce. Renteria picked it moving to his left, but his momentum carried him a step or so in that outfield grass. And now 4 base hits off of Matt Morris, and that'll get a visit from pitching coach Dave Duncan, the former Oriole.
B.J. Surhoff doesn't get thrown out. He probably hits right in this situation right now against Matt Morris. You got a chance to knock him out of the game, but B.J. was ejected by Doug Eddings. Now, this looks to be kind of a contentious little conversation here between Hargrove and Johnson. Jason Johnson was perched at the top of the steps with his helmet on, and he was surprised when he walked out toward the on-deck circle. There was Jose Morban standing on deck.
Well, Jason Johnson being lifted for the pinch hitter, Jose Morban, here in the top of the 4th. The Orioles with an opportunity to get a little bit closer against Matt Morris. And Buck, you're right. You got to believe this is Surhoff's at bat here against Morris, with a chance to tie it up, maybe go ahead here in the 4th. B.J. ejected a moment ago. Of course, Jose Morban, the youngster, he noticed the swing a little bit long, Buck, and he has had trouble making contact here in his last few plate appearances.
But he does have a home run.
On the outside corner with that backdoor breaking ball. And now Morban reacting to that as Morris up in the zone and on the outside corner or thereabouts. That pitch looked high and maybe also away.
Boy, that's a tough call right there. Curveball breaking around the plate, and Morban can't believe it. Eddings looked like he thought it was strike 3.
He did. Jose better be hacking here, anything close. And Morris fans him swinging. Inning over. A rather bizarre 4th inning for a lot of different reasons, but the Orioles are back into it, down 4-2. Now the temperature went up in the 4th inning here at Busch Stadium. Orioles got 2 and a lot of extracurriculars involved as the Birds on the board against Matt Morris. Aflac trivia question for today in St. Louis is, which 4 infielders in Major League Baseball history have won 13 or more consecutive Gold Glove awards? Consecutive Gold Glove awards, pitchers included in that. You think about it, and we'll get back to you with the answer coming up in a moment or two. Buck, I think I got a couple of them, but I'm not sure about maybe number 4. But we'll give everybody a chance to think about that. And Travis Driscoll now is on the mound here in inning number 4. And Driscoll, the Orioles' long man, picking up for Jason Johnson, who really wasn't able to get the job done today against the St. Louis offense.
Travis Driscoll now a chance to keep the Orioles where they are at 4-2. Giving hitters a chance. You got to be encouraged by this Orioles attack.
And it'll be Matt Morris leading off here in the Cardinals' 4th. The Cards with 8 base hits and 4 runs against Jason Johnson, who gave way to the pitch hitter Jose Morban. And in that 4th inning, saw B.J. Surhoff ejected by the 3rd base umpire Bruce Fremming and home plate umpire Doug Eddy. Bounced slowly to 3rd as Batista charges, and he'll throw out Matt Morris to open up the Cardinal 4th. And yeah, Buck, it appeared as well as there was a discussion between manager Mike Hargrove and his starting pitcher Jason Johnson with regard to that sequence that led up to the Morban pinch hit assignment.
Morban was standing on the on-deck circle. Jason Johnson had his helmet and his bat and was walking up the steps when he noticed Morban already on the deck circle. And a lot of times pitchers will come off their inning of pitching, go back down into the runway, towel off, dry off, get a drink, and not pay attention to anything. And he knew his at-bat was coming up. He just grabbed the bat, put a helmet on, and walked out there, and he saw Morban out there. And then he and Mike Hargrove had a little bit of a discussion in the dugout.
Seemed to be pretty one-way, though, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was the skipper doing all the speaking. And again, as we started to allude to, for the 4th game on this road trip, Sam Palazzo, the Orioles bench coach, is back in Cumberland, Maryland, attending to his mother, who is seriously ill. We wish Sammy and the Palazzo family all the best. Miguel Cairo has banned twice today, both against Orioles starter Jason Johnson. 2-2 from Driscoll. Sinking fastball that'll miss low.
Well, his second strikeout was a fouled off bunt attempt. He was asked by the manager to advance the runners at first and second, and Cairo couldn't get the bunt down in fair territory.
That's ripped sharply and foul just outside that bag. I don't know, maybe the situation with Jason Johnson and Mike Hargrove, I mean, some of that could even be carryover, Buck, from that start Tuesday night down in Minute Maid Park in Houston, when Johnson, you know, made a few comments afterward with regard to pitching rotation in terms of days between starts, and also alluded to the dimensions of Minute Maid Park as possibly being a cause for some of his problems in the fifth inning.
Yeah, and you're never going to really come off right saying things like that. I don't care if you feel that way genuinely or not, but get the ball, make pitches whenever you get handed the baseball.
Cairo in the air to right, and that's Jay Gibbons there for out number 2. So Travis Driscoll has retired the first 2 hitters that he's faced. And Travis, of course, got to work in here on Friday night as the Orioles were fighting their way back from a 5-0 early deficit to go on top 6-5, only to see St. Louis win it in the bottom of the 8th on that Pujols bases clearing double. J.D. Drews had a base hit and a stolen base that scored a run today. Driscoll evens the count. Put Drew in that right field spot. We said it's a very difficult lineup to pitch to, but Pujols, Edmonds, Drew. It's a very solid outfield that Tony La Russa has all the way around. And here in St. Louis, a lot of people, Buck, that we've talked to, and a lot of them, the gang in Houston, the baseball people there, felt that this St. Louis ball club might be, just from an everyday sense of what Tony La Russa puts on the field, the best ball club in the National League.
Yeah, I think when you look at the team defensively, when everybody is healthy and La Russa has the opportunity to put J.D. Drew in right, and if he had Vigna at second base, then you could consider them maybe the best defensive team in the big leagues.
Driscoll falling behind Drew at 3-2.
J.D. Drew had surgery on his knee in the offseason to repair the patella tendon. It's taken him a while to get up to 100%.
J.D. Drew is gone, and so are the St. Louis Cardinals as Travis Driscoll able to retire the side. Birds trying to get back into it, down 4-2. Baltimore Orioles baseball on the Orioles Television Network is being brought to you in part by Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. And also by GM, the car company in overdrive. Just a picture postcard kind of Sunday afternoon around St. Louis, Missouri. Michael Regai, Buck Martinez in this 4-2 Cardinals lead over the Birds, and Matt Morris off to a solid beginning, although the Orioles starting to show signs in the 4th they can get to him.
Well, he's used the curveball very effectively, and then after the first couple of innings he went to the fastball. He's even made a contribution with the bat. His second RBI of the season. He dribbled one through the right side into right field. 4 innings, 6 hits. He's thrown 65 pitches, hasn't walked a batter, and he's struck out 5. But as Michael mentioned, the Orioles starting to get a read on Matt Morris. Came up with 3 2-out hits last inning to plate 2, and it's a 4-2 ball game.
Switch hitting Brian Roberts to lead things off for the O's here in inning number 5 against Matt Morris. Birds get the off day tomorrow, and then but another week of interleague baseball still to come. As that 1-0 pitch is skied to shallow right. That's J.D. Drew drifting toward the gap to put it away. Well, Brian Roberts out for the third time this afternoon. All right, again, our Aflac trivia question today. Which 4 infielders in Major League Baseball history have won 13 or more consecutive Gold Gloves? Well, 2 of them have ties with these 2 clubs here. Of course, Brooks Robinson, Smith. Buck, I remember Jim Cott. I told you I was struggling with the 4th. I forgot Greg Maddux.
Greg Maddux, yep. Jim Cott was like a cat on the mound. Big guy who really move around, and he loved to play that extra infielder role. Same for Greg Maddux. Just couldn't get a ball past him.
But Ozzie Smith, the Wizard, and Brooks Robinson, had they played together, that might have been an airtight infield. Ground ball up the middle. Base hit center field, Luis Matos. So Matos continues the hit streak to 13 in a row now. Every game that he has started, Matos has at least 1 base hit in, and 7 multi-hit games for Matos. So, well, he comes back to the major leagues out of AAA Ottawa and has put together a 13-game hit streak.
You think he's got something against Ottawa? He doesn't want to go back.
Doesn't want to go back. Well, every Oriole that has come up from Ottawa this year, I've asked them the question, and they have all said the same thing. Very pretty town, a lot of history to it. Then you see Melvin Mora and Luis Matos with their hit streaks intact. Matos has extended to 14. Mora trying to get to 20. And as we mentioned, Melvin's previous career best last year as an Oriole, 9, so he's doubled up on that. Morris has got him on a couple of ground ball outs today. Breaking ball from Matt Morris.
Melvin was looking for that curveball. He had made up his mind that Morris was going to throw him a pitch, but Morris took a little extra off of it, made it even a slower breaking ball, and Melvin was still out in front.
Mora extends his hit streak to 20. That's a base hit center field. So Matos and Mora taking care of the hit streaks in back-to-back fashion, so make it 20 for Melvin Mora and 14 for Luis Matos. And more importantly, the Orioles have the tying runs aboard here in the 5th.
What a great swing at fastball. He jumps on it, rifles it into center field. Matos has to hold up at second base. So Matos and Mora both extending their hit streaks here in the 5th inning.
Get Jeff Conine to the plate. Well, the Orioles now with 6 base hits in the last couple of innings, make it 7. Conine with a rope to center, and Matos is going to be held, and now he's coming to the plate. Edmonds' throw got over the head of Matheny, and both Mora and Conine will move up a bag. Oh, Jim Edmonds, there you see his reaction to that. He just airmailed everybody on that throw to the plate. And the Orioles are back to within a run and have the tying and go-ahead in scoring position.
Boy, he is just throwing this ball to the cutoff man, and it sails all the way over the head of the catcher. Matt Morris hadn't been in the backup position, and Matos, running with his head up, kept his eye on this throw. He sees it going to be over the catcher's head, and look at the reaction. Get down, but it's not going to. Matt Morris got stuck on the mound, and he was late backing up, and it cost him a run.
Jay Gibbons on a big hop up the middle. Backhanded by Cairo to throw out Gibbons, and this one is all tied up at 4 apiece. Give Gibbons the fielder's choice RBI. Melvin Mora to the plate, and the Birds, with 2 in the 4th and 2 in the 5th, have gotten even with Matt Morris at St. Louis.
Boy, just like that. Right in the middle of their order, Morris, Matos, and Mora got it started. Gibbons picks up the RBI with the ground ball. Sandwiched around to Jim Edmonds throwing at.
There's Tony Batista now. Batista, he got this whole thing started in the 4th inning. It was his 2-out double that drove in Jay Gibbons. That gave the Orioles the lead. Gibbons doubled with 2 out. And then Batista put the first run on the board as Morris will bend the breaking ball in to get ahead 0-2. Tony picked up his 38th RBI of the year as his quick worker Mac Morris back to work.
Well, Michael, we've talked about the Houston series, how the Orioles could have won a couple of those games. They came back and won the first game on the trip yesterday. This is a big win. You go 2-3 as opposed to 1-4, looking to the off day and an upcoming homestand. This is a big win for Baltimore. Scratch and claw, you fall behind early, 4-0 after 3 innings, and here they are. They've tied it up again.
Yeah, just like Friday night. Down 5-0 in the opener of the series. Batista got a piece of the breaking ball.
That double Tony hit in his previous at bat was a low fastball. And Morris threw him all fastballs in that at bat.
And now the 2-2 to Batista. This is Flair to shallow left, coming on Pujols with a slide, and he did not make the grab. That baseball fell safely. Batista aboard on the base hit, and the Orioles have taken a 5-4 lead. Pujols tried to make the sliding shoestring catch, wasn't able to do it, and the Birds are to the lead.
And you can see the ball is there on the ground, and the umpire at second base, Mike Winters, had the best angle to make the call. Right here, the ball appears to go in his glove, but then it's laying on the ground, and Pujols picks it up. But Winters made the call immediately that it was a base hit.
Well, this one has a lot of the same looks, not only of Friday night, Buck, but of in reverse fashion of the Orioles' first game of this interleague trip in Houston with Jason Johnson on the mound. The Orioles had the big lead. Johnson's cruising along, and then he couldn't get anybody out in the 5th inning. This has happened to Matt Morris the last 2 innings, and the Orioles have put together 7 base hits against him, 7 of their 10.
And 10 hits already here with 2 outs, and La Russa and Duncan very concerned in the Cardinals dugout. I mean, they're not even budging down in that Cardinal bullpen. Matt Morris is the man. He's got 4 complete games. They're going to see if he can work things out.
St. Louis with an off day tomorrow, and they head then to Boston and Yankee Stadium for their next week of interleague play. Morris's next start will come on Friday night in Yankee Stadium against Roger Clemens. As Clemens again will go for number 300. 2-2 to Davy Cruz. Breaking ball, driven deep to the corner and left. Will that stay fair? See you later. It got a piece of the pole in that left field corner. Oh, Davy Cruz has done it again. His 8th of the year, his 3rd in 2 days, and the Birds have absolutely exploded on Matt Morris with 7 runs in the last 2 innings to take this 3-run lead.
In this inning, most of the damage with 2 outs. High breaking ball, and there's only one concern from Davy Cruz, whether or not this ball is going to stay fair, and sure enough, it hits the foul pole on that screen and drops to the ground. 3rd home run in the last 2 games for Davy Cruz.
Cruz has driven in 3 more runs today, up to 29 on the year. This has been just a lights out kind of weekend for Davy Cruz here in St. Louis. What the 3 doubles on Friday night, and a pair of home runs yesterday, and now the RBI base hit and a home run today. This Orioles offense has been amazing through this last 3-week stretch. And Buck, it started 3 weeks ago today in a loss at Oriole Park, 9-8 loss to Tampa Bay. Remember, before that, the Orioles had scored 6 runs in the previous 5 games.
Now, all of a sudden, something clicked in this Oriole lineup, and they all got hot together, and Davy Cruz has had some stop here in St. Louis.
Brooke Fordyce with a soft line drive that is picked off by Edgar Renteria on the outfield grass. 5th inning over. Big one for the Orioles. Davy Cruz down long distance. Halfway home at St. Louis. The Birds with a 7-4 lead. Baltimore Orioles baseball on the Orioles Television Network is being brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. More than 2,700 nonstop daily flights to 59 destinations all across the country. Some of the sites around St. Louis, Missouri, biggest site for the Orioles, that 5-run 5th inning, as the Birds have again come from a 4-0 deficit. On Friday night, it was a 5-0 deficit, and now hold a 3-run lead. Well, Travis Driscoll, the pitcher of record, as he took over for Jason Johnson. And Driscoll facing some of the big sticks in this St. Louis lineup here: Albert Pujols, Jim Edmonds, and Scott Rowland. St. Louis looked to be cruising with their 4-0 lead, and suddenly the Orioles got a little bounce in their step. And Buck, you wonder how much that ejection, as we look at Jason Simontachi in the bullpen, you wonder how much that ejection of B.J. Surhoff started to light the fire under the O's.
Boy, the timing is right on. You'd think that B.J. was thrown out of the game, and after that, Oriole bats came to life.
Another double-digit hit performance for the Orioles. And they've already racked up 11 base hits on the afternoon. And now it's Travis Driscoll's a win to claim if the Orioles can hang on to this lead. The 2-2 now to Pujols. Look out. 3-2 on hot-hitting Albert Pujols.
This looks like a sinking fastball that got away from Driscoll and ran inside off the plate.
And now the 3-2 pitch. Round ball wide to third. Batista will pick that hop, and Pujols is out number 1 here in the St. Louis 5th. Take a look at our Heineken What's on Tap. And if you can't be at the ballpark next week, make sure you join us on the television side. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights against the Chicago Cubs. Sammy Sosa expected to be with them. He'll be on Comcast Sportsnet, the cable home of the Birds. And then Friday, Milwaukee comes in with the big batter Richie Sexson. And that too on Comcast Sportsnet. So if we don't see you out at the ballpark, we'll see you right here on the tube as you make your Heineken What's on Tap plans to watch the Orioles all week long. Jim Edmonds has had a rather strong day at the plate, and that's a base hit left field. Edmonds now 3 for 3 on the afternoon. A couple of home runs and that base hit the opposite way. But Buck, got to tell you, as you're well aware of, that Edmonds error in the top of this 5th inning as he overthrew the plate, certainly a big cog in helping the Orioles to that 5-run inning.
Louis Matos had stopped at third base, and it was just a routine throw it to the first baseman, who was in the middle of the diamond. Let him cut it off, and then we'll move on. But he airmailed everything, went all the way back to the screen, and Matos scored on the play.
Here's Scott Rowland, who was trouble for Jason Johnson, 2 for 2 on the afternoon, as Driscoll started him off with a slider. Well, Rowland, with that average up to 292, he's picked up 7 points with his couple of base hits, and now 1,000 career hits on his second single to right. Out of Jasper, Indiana. Buck, you were saying the other night that young man, they hear more with the Midwest identity, and certainly had that love-hate thing going on with the fans in Philly.
He is such an intense player. I mean, you can't ask for more commitment from a ball player on your club than you get from Scott Rowland. But the fans in Philly, they kind of got down on him, especially after the Phillies made a very lucrative contract offer to him, and he turned it down. And, hey, that's his right. He has the right to move on and test the market. He told the Phillies, I'm not going to sign here, so the Phillies were basically forced to make a deal. Then he sent him to St. Louis, and Man, oh man, the Cardinals didn't waste any time. They signed him up long term. And he got just over half of what the Phillies had offered him. But at that point, half, quarter, third, what difference does it make, huh?
Well, it shows you where his mindset was. Just get me out of Philadelphia. Ground ball to third. Took a wicked hop on Batista. Everybody's going to be safe. Gotta wait to see how that scored. You can see that from where our vantage point is. That ball took a tough hop, came up on Tony Batista.
Well, it did. It was to his glove side. It was sharply hit, and the scorer has just given Roland a base hit. I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, it was a sharply hit ball, but Tony Batista's got good hands. It did hop up at the end. I guess you could call it a bad hop base hit. But Batista will make this play more often than not, and Roland gets the base hit. Now they're 2 on with 1 out.
And here's Edgar Renteria now to face Travis Driscoll as that's crushed deep but foul to the chairs and left. Edgar Renteria, who has bounced right back to the mound and flied out to right this afternoon. Renteria, second best home hitter in the National League to his teammate Albert Pujols, representing the tying run at the plate. Driven to left. Mora's there to reach up and haul it in. Roland's going to tag and test Mora one more time, or make it Edmonds rather, and this throw is a little bit offline. As Melvin saw Jim Edmonds tag and make that break from the bag as he had to go to the gap to his left to haul in the drive from Renteria.
Well, it's deep enough that Edmonds had time to go back to second and tag up, and he moves over to third base. You can't really expect Mora to throw him out there. Edmonds with a good read on that ball, recognized that Mora was going to catch it. He moves up 90 feet. You know, that puts pressure on the defense now. Wild pitch, pass ball, he can score.
And here is Tino Martinez with runners on the corners at 2 down, and Driscoll will miss low. Now, Buck, we talked about the 44 home run year for Tino Martinez back as the Yankees were winning their second of 4 World Series titles in a 5-year span. And Martinez has not nearly approached that figure since. And here in the Redbird Nation around St. Louis, you know, you get the sense that, you know, Tino is a work ethic, nice guy and what have you, but disappointed in the lack of power output from Tino Martinez. 4 home runs on the year.
Yeah, I think they would like to see more power, and I'm sure Tino would like to respond and come through, but it's an adjustment for him. I thought this year would be a much better year than he had a year ago. Last year he had 21 home runs here in St. Louis. They could be satisfied with that type of home run production, given the rest of the hitters in the lineup.
Oh yeah, down in that 7-hole, if he can hit 20 or thereabouts, but he's really not on that type of pace. Here we are 60 games deep into the season. He's more on a pace for 10 or 12 or so.
Yeah, and that would be a down year for sure. Tino hit 16 in 2000 with the Yankees.
That's laced to right. Gibbons racing back, reaching up, had it in his glove and dropped it. It's going to score a couple. Edmonds to the plate, Roland right behind him. This is a 7-6 Orioles lead. Jake Gibbons had that shot off the bat of Tino Martinez in his glove and could not hold on to the baseball.
Michael, that looked like trouble off the crack of the bat. This ball has been carrying all day long. We saw Jay Gibbons battle around earlier in the day, and look how he drifts back instead of turning, getting back to the warning track and making an easy play of it. He just drifts with the ball, had it in his glove, but he made it a much more difficult play than it should have been. The ball has been jumping all day long to right field.
Matheny rips a base hit to left. Let's watch this. Mora charges. Being waved in Martinez. Down to the plate. Fordyce will put the tag on Tino Martinez. Oh, Melvin Mora has done it again. His second outfield assist today as he guns down Martinez to preserve the one-run lead.
Tino Martinez got in between. Do I slide? Do I stand up? There's the throw and the tag by Fordyce. The Orioles still lead by 1.
A wild bottom of the 5th, much as really the last couple of innings been, as the Orioles see their lead sliced down to 7-6 as Melvin Mora cuts down Tino Martinez at the plate.
And Fordyce came inside home plate, dives back across the plate. Morris made 2 outstanding throws here today. Tino was in between. Do I slide? Do I stand up? Finally, he tries to jar the ball out of the glove of Fordyce, and Brooks made no doubts about it, tags him on the hip and shows the ball to Doug Eddings, and Tino is cut down at the plate. Preserving that 1-run lead, Melvin Moore, what a series he's had. He made a great relay in last night's game to cut down a run at the plate. 2 good throws here today. One to throw Scott Rowland out at third, and that one there to throw out Tino Martinez at home plate. Jason Simon-Tachi comes out of the bullpen. He has started, and he is going to be skipped in the next time through the rotation so they can use him out of the bullpen. The Cardinals have an off day, as do the Orioles on Monday, so they have skipped Simon-Tachi's spot in the rotation. And he is on here in relief of Matt Morris to work the 6th inning.
Well, Matt Morris getting roughed up in the final couple of innings of his stint by the O's, as Simon-Tachi will deliver the called strike. Travis Driscoll, who is going to swing the bat for himself. Orioles down a pinch hitter because B.J. Surhoff is ejected as Driscoll chases. Remember Travis with the 3-base hit that he got in interleague play at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia last year. He was picking him up and laying him down as that's bounced foul near the plate.
Michael, they go back on Matt Morris and recap his day here. Today he allowed 7 runs on 11 hits, and those 7 runs, ties his season high. The 11 hits is a season high. And the Orioles have really messed up his Sunday afternoon.
And he had a 4-0 lead.
Boy, that's credit to this Oriole ball club. They have never given up. The hitters continue to plug away. They don't seem to pay attention to the scoreboard when they're down.
Driscoll, that's chopped left side. And Edgar Renteria will throw out Travis Driscoll, and that's how the 6th inning opens. Most fans want to remind you this Father's Day, don't give your dad cash, give him money, Eddie Money. On Father's Day Sunday, June 15th, a post-game Eddie Money concert at Oriole Park. Following the O's and Milwaukee Brewers. Now for your tickets to see the Orioles and then Eddie Money, make sure you call that number you see on your screen or go online at theorioles.com. Back to the top of the O's lineup now for Travis Driscoll, for Brian Roberts after Travis Driscoll bounces out against Jason Simon-Tachi. Brian looking for his first base hit today. He's 0 for 3. So this one's already had a little bit of everything. And the 3 home runs on the afternoon, 2 from Jim Edmonds, and a 2-run shot for Davy Cruz. A lot of activity. Runners being thrown out at third base and at the plate. Melvin Mora with a couple of outfield assists.
Well, the entire series has featured just about everything you can see at the ballpark. We've had a couple of players ejected. Edmonds yesterday, B.J. Surhoff. We've had a complete game by Sidney Ponson. Pujols with 4 hits on Friday night. Davy Cruz with 3 home runs in the series. And it has been an exciting series.
It's ripped on one hop behind the bag at second, and Edgar Renteria will throw out the speedy Brian Roberts for out number 2. Brian 0 for 4 on the afternoon. That'll get Luis Matos to the plate. Now Luis has had a base hit in his last turn at the plate. Ground ball up the middle. And the infield base hit, Renteria flag it down, and Matos was able to beat it out, and that extends the hit streak for Luis to 14 in a row. Longest hit streak by an Oriole. As Bill Stetka dropped by to remind us, the Orioles PR chief, 30 straight from Eric Davis back in 1998. And then Rafael Palmeiro in his first year as an Oriole back in 1994, hitting 20 in a row. So Melvin Mora now at 20, closing in on that.
Right, that's a pretty impressive streak when you can get hits in 20 straight games. Not even halfway to Joe DiMaggio streak.
Well, we were talking about that the other night, as far as maybe a baseball streak that will never be equalized. How about the number of wins for Cy Young too?
Yeah, I mean that's
511.
511 wins.
Come on.
Roger Clemens would have to pitch till he's 60.
Well, how many years? I mean, 20 years of 20 wins isn't going to do it. You're still going to be over 100 shy. Yeah, that's just amazing. So there's a few marks around the game that may be safe. Too many specialists to as far as the hit streak goes, Buck. I mean, you face some closers that come in to that specialize and maybe have a certain pitch that they utilize to be the best in their craft. I just don't think that it can ever be done.
Well, I think you make a good point about hitters dealing with different pitchers in their third and fourth at bat. Even in today's game, second time through the order against Matt Morris, the Orioles jumped on him.
Matos has popped it up. This is near the Cardinals dugout. Now, does Matheny have room? Yes, he does, to put it away. Now, the Orioles, for the first time in 2 innings, go quietly. Birds still have a 1-run lead, 7-6 over St. Louis. A good one going on. A lot of offense involved in it. Orioles have a 1-run advantage over St. Louis. All right, those fans, our good friends at Heineken want us to remind you, we know you're enjoying Orioles baseball this weekend, but please make sure when you think about other areas of Orioles baseball, make sure you drink responsibly during the course of this weekend while watching the Birds. That from our friends at Heineken. So we head to the bottom of the 6th. Travis Driscoll is ready to go, and you see Doug Eddings, the home plate umpire, looking into that dugout because right now Tony La Russa doesn't have a hitter that he wants to send to the plate. Michael Regai with Buck Martinez, and now Jason Simon-Tatis, he's not used to hitting in the National League, is he, that reliever too often?
Well, Simon-Tatis has been a starter, but he probably didn't have his bats out, thinking he wasn't going to pitch with Matt Morris going to the mound today. But he's in this ball game. He's being skipped in the rotation, and he had to go back and get his hitting gloves and his bat.
And he's got a base hit. First pitch swinging. Drilled to the corner and left. He's got extra bases. Well, excuse me, Mr. Simon-Tachi. I surely jumped the gun, figuring that this guy, you don't want to run up to the plate, Buck. It's that, wait a minute, I don't expect that I'm going to hit for myself. But so maybe he tells Tony La Russa, I'm sorry for not being ready with his double to the corner.
It's only his second hit in 24 at bats, so that double is the exception. His first career double.
He looks a little bit gassed, too, as he put the bent over, the hands on his knees, and drawing that deep breath. Miguel Cairo. Well, Cairo's going to get asked to put a bunt down again. He was not able to do it when he hit in the second inning and fouled off that third strike and became a strikeout victim.
Well, you get another chance. Obviously, here, Cairo would love to bunt the ball toward Batista at third. Breaking ball.
Double barrel action now in the Orioles bullpen.
Look at La Russa now pondering, do I have him bunt again? Give him a chance to hit it on the right side? I think they're going to stick with a bunt. Nope, let him swing.
Taking the called strike. B.J. Ryan's up along with Rick Bauer. The Orioles seeing that Travis Driscoll here in second inning of work and giving up the leadoff double to Jason Simon-Tachi. 2-1 pitch. Back to the bunt. Simon-Tachi was running. I'll tell you what, if that bunt is popped up in fair territory, the Orioles have a double play with ease because Simon-Tachi was moving on the 2-1 pitch.
Well, Cairo hasn't looked very comfortable whatsoever. He has a pair of sacrifices this season, but in both of the bunt attempts we've seen today, he's looked very, very uncomfortable. This one, he just jabs at. You're right, Michael. If he pops this up in a playable area, they're going to make an easy double play of it. Simon-Tachi was running on the pitch. They're going to ask him to bunt again?
I don't think so. He wasn't able to do it the last time. Now it's 3-2. 1-run Orioles lead that the bullpen is trying to protect. But you get the sense that we have not seen the last of the scoring, and maybe a lot of it yet still to come today. Payoff pitch, ground ball to third. Batista will check Simon-Tachi as he throws out Miguel Cairo. So Cairo not able to get the job done.
Boy, that's a bad out right there. You don't advance the runner after your pitcher leads the inning off with a double. And you could see Cairo frustrated in the dugout. He was asked to bunt, and he grounds out to third. Simon-Tachi has to hold his ground at second base.
And the lineup because of the Fernando Viña injury. So here's J.D. Drew. Of course, Albert Pujols on deck. Drew base hit in 3 turns today, lined out to Jeff Conine his last turn. Just bounced slowly right to the mound. Driscoll with a late flip to Conine, who didn't hang on to the baseball. But to see Travis Driscoll hitting his chest, telling Jeff Conine, that's my fault.
Yeah. I think Travis was prepared to go to the bag himself and then sensed that Drew was real close. J.D. Drew with the topper here, and watch Driscoll. He comes over and gloves it with his bare hand, but look at Drew really hustling down the line, and then he senses, I better flip this to Conine, and really handcuff Conine. Jeff was preparing to get out of the way. If Driscoll continues, he probably beats Drew to the bag. It's the second time today we've seen some confusion on the Orioles in the infield.
Yes.
It happened with Robertson Cruz earlier in the game in a potential double play situation, and right there, Driscoll, if he continues to go to first base, probably beats Drew to the bag.
J.D. Drew has been awarded an infield base hit.
I'd like the hit here in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Scott Rowland hit a ball last inning to the third baseman. Went off Batista's glove. He got a hit. And a normal play by Driscoll, that would have been an out.
Find a way to get on board, boys, and you're going to be rewarded. It's a long conversation going on with Mark Wiley, the pitching coach at the mound, and Doug Eddings is now breaking things up.
Fordyce right there had looked back into the dugout to get the defense for a first and third situation. He got Mike Hargrove's attention to get the sign before he left. He told Davey Cruz what play is going to be on should Drew break towards second.
Now, trouble for the Orioles here. Runners on the corners. Simon-Tachi at third base. Drew at first base. 1 out for the leading hitter in Major League Baseball, Albert Pujols. 0 for 3 today. And Buck, that's even more reason for the Orioles to have to know that this is a tough situation. Pujols, here he is, a 383 hitter, and he doesn't have a base hit. As a matter of fact, you go back to yesterday, and he's 0 for his last 6. After going, what, 9 for 9, going back to the Toronto series?
Yep. He was red hot when the Orioles first got here, and you can see the damage he's done starting out his career. In the first 377 games, he has more RBIs than a pretty impressive list. Garcia, Parra, Canseco, Albert Bell.
And a 2-0 pitch. Bounce foul. Driscoll had to stay down in the zone on that 2-0 to Pujols.
Pujols has had 209 at bats, not including this one, and he's grounded into only 3 double plays. And that's a pretty impressive number, and shows you his focus and determination, how he's able to stay out of double plays in these situations.
2-1 breaking ball. So Travis Driscoll now back even with Albert Pujols.
I think the Orioles have sensed in this 3-game series that you have a better chance against Pujols trying to get him to hit the off-speed pitch than you do trying to bust him inside with fastball. Jorge Julio tried that on Friday night with a 1-strike fastball inside, and he hit that 3-run double.
Where's Travis Driscoll going to go? 2-2 to Albert Pujols. There's that breaking ball, and the Pujols laid off it.
And now you really have a dilemma. You have 3 for 3 Jim Edmonds with 2 home runs on deck, the best hitter in baseball at the plate. I still think you can throw him a 3-2 breaking ball here and hope he hits it on the ground at the shortstop.
That's what the Orioles would love to do. Double him up and get out of the inning. As Driscoll took a look at Simon Tachi. And also then with the look at J.D. Drew.
Now here's a good trip to the mound by Fordyce. Very important part of the ball game, obviously. And they want to make sure that they have their heads together before they make this next pitch. You go out, you talk about the situation. Batista comes in so he can get an edge on where he wants to play Pujols. If you're going to throw him soft, he'll play a step to pull. If you're going to stay hard, he'll play a step to the hole.
The Orioles in the outfield deep, but swung a little bit to right. 3-2 pitch coming to Albert Pujols. Drew's going. That's bounced fair over the bag into the left field corner. Cardinals have tied it up and are going to be held at third as Mora got to the baseball quickly, and J.D. Drew got the stop sign from Jose Oquendo. Albert Pujols is 51st RBI of the year, the double to the corner and left, and it's all even at 7 apiece.
Now there's not many people in the game that drive in runs as frequently as Pujols. That ball was running inside. Batista in vain tries to knock it down. It goes off the wall. Look at Mora's hustle. And right there, Jose Oquendo throws up the stop sign. He has already seen enough of Melvin Moore's throwing ability today. And Mike Hargrove's going to come to the mound and make a pitching change.
Well, Travis Driscoll will exit, and with Jim Edmonds at the plate, it's going to be B.J. Ryan, the left-hander from Louisiana. Next, they'll call it the bullpen time. Don't go anywhere. 7 apiece here at St. Louis. Seven apiece, wild one, offensively minded, as you can see. 26 base hits through just 5 innings plus here this afternoon. All right, the Orioles and Coca-Cola have teamed up to search the area for baseball's best teammates. All youth players under 18, male, female, little league to high school, baseball, softball are eligible. If you have a teammate who's committed to the game of baseball, always first to help out your ball club, exemplifies true sportsmanship, nominate them. Be an Orioles real great teammate of 2003. Send a photo, short description to that number you see right there. And winners will be recognized during Orioles television telecast as this year rolls on. B.J. Ryan, 6'7" out of the state of Louisiana, who since joining the Orioles 4.5 years ago has done a solid job out of the bullpen.
Worked a third of an inning on Friday. Came in the 7th inning.
And the Orioles are going to draw the infield in with Ryan facing Jim Edmonds, who fouls it away. They got J.D. Drew at third base, Albert Pujols at second base. Only one out in a 7-7 tie. And you see the damage that Edmonds has done today against Jason Johnson, the 2 home runs, and had the base hit off Driscoll. 15-hit attack for St. Louis today. About to hit the Orioles 15-11 as Ryan will miss away. Big afternoon for Edmonds has put him over the 300 mark. B.J. Ryan will fall behind at 2-1. A steady diet of breaking balls, Buck, trying to stay away from Edmonds.
Trying to get him to chase that pitch on the outside part of the plate. Missed again. Edmonds, tremendous discipline, and in these are the counts you just have to avoid to part of the order hitters. 3-1. Rick Bauer should be ready.
That stayed more in on the hands of Edmonds. As Ryan again went to another slider.
Yeah, he got underneath a little bit and it backed up. Actually stayed inside. Fordyce was expecting it to be to the outside part of the plate.
The Orioles with the infield in, hoping to choke off the go-ahead run at the plate. 3-2 pitch, and Edmonds will stay alive. Six hits in this one. And we're not through the sixth inning. And it started out like it was going to be a St. Louis rout as they put a quick 4-0 lead together for their ace, Matt Morris. The Orioles had other ideas.
Now Batista again wanting to be part of that meeting between Fordyce and Ryan, jogged into the mound. Obviously they're going to cut the run off at the plate if there's a ball on the infield.
Another 3-2 pitch, and that'll miss downstairs. B.J. Ryan tried to go back away with Jim Edmonds, and he's walked him to load the bases, and Mike Hargrove is right back out of the Orioles dugout. And he's going to go to the right-hander, Rick Bauer, to face Scott Rowland here in inning number 6.
Well, all hands on deck today. Ponsone's complete game gave the bullpen a rest, and Mike Hargrove has got a lot of fresh arms down there, and he's called upon Bauer now. Rick Bauer, the right-hander, jogs in, and he'll have to deal with Scott Rowland.
In this 7-7 tie, we'll get you right back to St. Louis. It's a 7-7 tie in St. Louis. We want to remind you about the exclusively Orioles premium ticket package just for you, and this is the best in baseball, believe me. We're talking about premium seats, field box seats in the first few rows between the bases at Oriole Park. They're being packaged in 10-game plants with premium parking, other exclusive amenities like a chance to go to baseball's All-Star game in July and postseason play too. Here's what you do. Call 410-547-6284 the first thing tomorrow morning to customize an exclusively Orioles package that's right for you. A very sweet baseball deal ticket-wise from the Birds. Rick Bauer on now here in the bottom of the 6th. Bases loaded with Cardinals in this 7-7 tie. To face Scott Rowland, who's 3 for 3 on the afternoon. Rowland with a drive to left. Moore's on the track, and that ball is out of here. Grand slam home run, Scott Rowland. Buck, we've been having the feeling that it is going to be a wild finish in first St. Louis, and the Birds with 7 unanswered, and now Rowland with the big bomb.
Well, trying to come inside, Rick Bauer got that ball about belt high, and Scott Rowland jumped on his first pitch. Hit it into the bullpen, a grand slam home run for Scott Rowland. 4 for 4. On the day that he's collected his 1,000th career hit.
4-0 St. Louis. The Orioles with 7 unanswered to go up by 3. Now 7 unanswered from St. Louis as they've dug out of a 7-4 hole to build a 4-run lead once again. Renteria lifted to shallow right center. Long way to go for Gibbons. Won't get there. Base hit. Base hit number 17 on the day for the St. Louis offense.
Now you could say that Brian Roberts wasn't going to get to this ball. It's hit just beyond his range. Jay Gibbons was deep in right field. It's just kind of a Texas leaguer flared in the shallow right field. Renteria's first hit of the day.
There's Tino Martinez, who's 2 for 3 in the day. Renteria's going. There will not be a throw. Stolen base. Edgar Renteria. Bauer came with a slider down and in. Fordyce had no chance to offer a throw. A difficult inning to have to observe for manager Mike Hargrove. And Bauer's fallen behind now 2-0.
Now Mark Wiley is jogging out. Take a look at this last pitch. Davy Cruz is standing on second base. He had broke in behind the base runner, had Renteria picked off dead to rights, and Bauer never gave him a look, and that probably prompted Wiley to go to the mound thinking, you know what, maybe Rick's a little bit rattled here after giving up the grand slam and a base hit, stolen base, and I'm going to go out and see if I can help him regroup a little bit. He gave up a grand slam on his first pitch. Renteria hit a flare to right field and then stole second easily. And it appeared as though Cruz had an opportunity to pick off Renteria at second base, and Bauer made the pitch to the plate.
And a 2-0 coming to Tino Martinez. That'll miss. 3-0. You know, Buck, unfortunately, for Mike Hargrove and the O's, said that the bullpen so strong for the first month of the season, but now after today, you know, they've been roughed up here in the last couple of weeks, and that bullpen ERA, the relievers, is going to climb over 5. And on 4 pitches, Bauer will miss. So it has been with rare exception during the course of the last couple of weeks that Mike Hargrove has been able to get good combined efforts out of that group in the Orioles bullpen.
And we talk about how different aspects of your game get hot at different times. And early on, when the Orioles hitters weren't scoring many runs, the bullpen was lights out.
Yeah.
Had they pitched with the same effectiveness they had in April for the last 3 weeks, no telling where the Orioles would be.
Mm-hmm. The over 500, I could tell you that, because the offense has provided almost 7 runs a game for the last close to 3 weeks now. There's 18 games this stretch that the Orioles offense has averaged over 7 runs and better than 10 hits per game. As Mike Hargrove said on Tuesday in the opener of this interleague trip, did everything well enough but pitch, and it once again has shown up here this weekend in St. Louis on Friday night and again today. The traffic on the base pass. Edgar Renteria at second base, Tino Martinez at first base. This is the 9th hitter of the inning. Mike Matheny still only 1 out, and remember, the guy that started the whole thing, Jason Simon-Tachi, the pitcher, on the first pitch of the inning with a double to the corner and left.
Yeah, Simon-Tachi hit his first career double, and then Miguel Cairo rounded out to third base. There was 1 out. And then after that, Drew Pujols with back-to-back hits, Edmonds with the walk, and Scott Rowland's grand slam.
Bauer's 2-1 pitch. Make it 3-1. Rick Bauer is in danger of walking. The second hitter in a row, and if he does, he's going to load the bases. He's just got to come into Matheny, as Willis Roberts is under the watchful eye of Elrod Hendricks in the Orioles pen. Mike Matheny dig in and get a toe hold here, because he figures, I got to believe I know what's coming on a 3-1 pitch with the Orioles reliever Rick Bauer in trouble. with a slider instead, and that count runs full.
Just sure that get me over slider to throw a strike, or struggle with his fastball command.
3-2 pitch with Renteria and Martinez, the base runners. Let's see if they're going to be running. They are. Fly ball to the gap in deep right center. Gibbons racing back, and he made the grab. And the Orioles trying to double up Renteria and Martinez, not quite able to do it. But Gibbons saved another run there, maybe a couple, as racing toward the gap to haul in the drive off the bat of Matheny.
This time Jay Gibbons gets turned around, puts his back to the infield, and just tracks it down on the warning track. Fine running catch by Gibbons. The runners were off and moving. Renteria was already to third. Martinez was at second when Gibbons makes the catch. And he had definitely saved one run for sure. Now La Russa has gone to his bench again. This has been a huge inning for the Cardinals. 9 batters to the plate, 5 hits, 2 walks, 5 runs, and Scott Rowland's grand slam home run.
Well, Jason Simon-Tachi started this inning. He's got a chance to be a winner now, and Tony La Russa is going to lift him for a pinch hitter, Orlando Palmeiro, who takes a called strike. So Palmeiro, the 10th hitter to come to the plate here in the bottom of the 6th. Palmeiro, a .278 hitter. 3 for 4 in this series. He started in right field on Friday night, and Esteban Yan, who worked on Friday night, is in the bullpen. Former Bird. One and 2 on Orlando Palmeiro.
Now, Tony La Russa brought in Jason Simon-Tachi thinking he might be able to get 2 or 3 innings out of him. He's a starter who is being skipped in his next turn. But now that the Cardinals have taken the lead, he goes back to his regular relievers who are more accustomed to working in these situations.
Palmeiro just fought off a 1-2 pitch. Well, Buck, we've been talking about how good St. Louis has been, not only here at home. It's been a long homestand for them. They're on a 2-week homestand, playing 13 games here at Busch, and before they go on a week-long road trip. And they have fared well trying to win their 8th in this homestand. They had won 5 in a row before yesterday. Palmeiro with a fly ball, shallow center. That's Luis Matos to take charge. He's got it in his 6th inning over. However, St. Louis puts 5 on the board. Grand slam, a home run from Scott Rowland. Cardinals lead at 11-7. Good to have you along on the Orioles television network today. Oh, wild one offensively, and in that 6th inning, St. Louis gets 5, and Buck, a Scott Rowland grand slam shot.
Rowland really having a day here today. The grand slam came on the first pitch from Rick Bauer. It was his 4th hit. He also was able to collect his 1,000th career hit. Quite a day offensively for the Cardinals' big third baseman. You can see Cardinals jumped out early. Up to a 4-0 lead. The Orioles came back, took the lead in the top of the 5th. The Redbirds, that is, tucked away in the 5th, and then a 5 spot in the 6th inning. Jim Edmonds 3 for 3 with a pair of home runs. Davy Cruz stays red hot. He's 7 for 11 in the series, and Melvin Mora extend his hit streak to a 20-gamer.
That was a Chevrolet game summer. Here's Esteban Yan, the former Oriole, now working in his 22nd game of the year as he pitched in here on Friday night. Oh, the Orioles, can they pedal back one more time? Got 9 outs to play with. Melvin Mora with a shot to left. Base hit Mora. They just keep ringing off his bats, Buck.
Excuse me, Michael. Both of these bullpens are going to stop answering the phones.
Yes, I agree with you.
Nobody's home down here. Stick with the guys you got.
Now, it hasn't been a good weekend for the bullpen. The Orioles bullpen got the day off yesterday, a much-needed one, but right back into the fray today. And St. Louis pen. They've been under fire really for the course of this whole homestand. And where's Jeff Conine as the Orioles get the leadoff hitter aboard? 12th base hit, and Jan will go right by Mike Matheny to allow Mora into scoring position. Wild pitch, Esteban Jan.
I think wild pitch in capital letters. That ball was about 4 feet from the target. You see that, Mark? That's what they're doing at the French Open right now. When there's a ball outside the line, that's the mark. That's where that pitch hit, that far in front of the plate. Look at that. They'll be hollering at Matheny from the Cardinals bench. Hey, you got to catch that ball.
Yeah. I like the French Open reference. They're going to make you a linesman and take you on the tennis tour.
I have to have instant replay in slow motion.
Oh, really? Well, they've got that for you. They'll help you. Jeff Conine's had a 2-hit afternoon as he fought that Jan pitch off. Ball. Seattle doing another tap dance on the New York Mets in game 1 and leading in game 2 as they're playing a doubleheader at Shea.
That's Jamie Moyer slated to start game 2, I believe, and if it is, he is looking for his 10th win.
The ageless one, Jamie Moyer, just keeps rolling along. Philadelphia trying to win a doubleheader today over Oakland. They got rained out yesterday, and they won the first game. Phillies got to go out west and play tomorrow in Anaheim.
Tomorrow night in Anaheim, it's a long day and a long night for the Phillies.
The lead of Melvin Mora. On the outside corner with a Jan slider, and Jeff Conine with a look back at Doug Eddings as he'll head to the Oriole dugout.
Orioles all day long have not been in total agreement with Eddings in his strike zone, and you can see the frustration and the slumped shoulders as Conine can't believe that was a strike. Can't protest too strongly here.
Well, why is second base umpire Mike Winters walking toward the Orioles dugout after Jeff Conine disagreed with Doug Eddings?
I don't understand it. Look at him. He's looking into the dugout more than he is onto the action of the game.
Gibbons with a shot up the middle. That's a base hit center field. More to the plate. Orioles got one of that 4-run deficit back. This was an 11-8 game. Jay Gibbons with his 3rd base hit of the day, his 2nd RBI. He's got 40 on the year, and the Orioles are down by 3.
This might be a Yogi Berra special. It ain't over till it's over. Last man standing wins this one, and look at Gibbons going down and getting a good pitch to chase home Melvin Mora. Melvin, with his 2nd hit of the day, he's 2 for 4, scored a couple of runs.
And here's Tony Batista. Had a big rip at Esteban Jan, trying to get a pitch that he could drive out of here.
Jay Gibbons has had a good day at the plate, 3 for 4. A couple of runs driven in.
Jan's 0-1 pitch. Batista with a drive to deep left. Pujols crack. Wall and see you later. Tony Batista, number 10 on the year. You better not go anywhere, folks. Call all the Oriole fans you know, because this one's got a long way to go. Batista dialing long distance. Birds right back to within 1.
We've said it time and time again this week about the character of the Orioles. They have shown it once again. After leading and then seeing their lead evaporate, they come right back. Tony Batista with a big fly to left field, his 3rd hit of the night. Pujols runs out of room and watches helplessly as that ball settles into the seats.
Now the Orioles greeting their former teammate Esteban Jan rather rudely here in the 7th inning with 3 base hits. Capped off by the 2-run bomb from Tony Batista as Esteban Jan will depart. There's more bullpen activity coming up. Which bullpen is going to be able to get some outs enough to preserve this one? That is the big question yet to be answered today. We'll get our next call to the bullpen. We tell you about Jeff Fassero when we come back. You like offense? Well, have you come to the right place? 21 runs and 31 base hits here and still going in the late stages at Busch Stadium. You know, fans, on Saturday, June 14th, it's Fujifilm Rich Camera Center's photo night. HC's going to open early at 4 o'clock, and the first 5,000 O's fans with cameras will be allowed down to the warning track to take pictures of your favorite birds. Now, for tickets to next Saturday's game at Oriole Park, Fujifilm Rich Camera Photo Night. Call the number you see on your screen or go online at theorioles.com. Jeff Fassero, the veteran left-hander, starter for many years in his big league career, and now one of the setup men to Cal Eldred with Jason Isringhausen disabled.
Well, and there's a lot of baseball to be played here. You can bet on that. And Fassero trying to come in here and slow this Oriole juggernaut down. The hitters have really had a field day here today on both sides of the diamond.
Now here's Davy Cruz, the first hitter to face Jeff Fassero. Cruz with another base hit. Bullet to right. Davy Cruz with yet another 3-hit day on this road trip. That's 3 of them, 1 in Houston and 2 here in St. Louis, as Cruz continues to scald the baseball.
Now, and this is the pitch he loves. And look at Duncan. He's frustrated. He said, you know, you go over these guys, you give them a scouting report. This is a high fastball, and Davy Cruz laces it into right field.
15 base hits for the Orioles. This is the 16th time in the last 19 games that they've had 11 or more hits. They went through a period of doing that 9 straight. They're in the final 9 games, or close to the final 9 games of May. The season high in base hits for the Birds was the 18 they had on May 25th at Texas. They've got 15 today.
David Segay has come out on deck. He's loosening up. He'll come on as a pinch hitter if the inning should stay alive.
Brooke Fordyce has had a single in 3 turns today, as Fassero will check on Cruz. So the Orioles have the tie and run aboard here in the 7th. Oh, what a roller coaster ride this one's been today. Both ball clubs have had reason to feel pretty good. Buck on a couple different occasions today, only to see that be deflated in a hurry.
Cardinals got out early, 4-0. And then the Orioles, with a 5-run 5th inning, took the lead at 7-4. Cardinals would score 2, make it 7-6, and we're not done yet. 11-10.
You just get the sense there could be much more still to come here in the final 3 innings. Matheny tried to keep it in front of him. Davy Cruz saw it was in the dirt, so he'll move into scoring position. Now Cruz very alertly, and Fassero bounced that breaking ball, is now at second base with 1 out here in the 7th.
Part of base running is anticipation, and Cruz reacts immediately when he sees that breaking ball in the dirt, and he's able to move into scoring position. That's huge for the Orioles, as Cruz represents the tying run.
Davy Cruz, who has had 8 base hits in this series and 11 hits on the Orioles interleague road trip. Through 6 games, 3 in Houston, 3 here in St. Louis. 11 hits for Cruz, 6 of them extra bases. Fassero again bouncing his breaking ball, as that count evens at 2-2 to Brooke Fordyce.
This time Matheny's able to smother it. You can see his setup. He quickly goes to a knee, plays it off his chest protector, and because he's bent at the waist, he tilts that chest protector over. The ball hits the dirt, hits the chest protector, and stays right underneath his feet.
2-2 pitch. Make it 3-2 on Fordyce. This inning started with a Melvin Moore, a base hit, his second of the day, as he's already extended the hit streak to 20 in a row. As you look at David Segui in the on-deck circle. After Esteban Yan struck out Jeff Conine, Jay Gibbons delivered the base hit that scored Moore, and then the 2-run home run for Batista. Ground ball to short. Renteria to play the big hop. He'll throw out Fordyce as Cruz moves over to third base, now with 2 down in the 7th. For the Orioles, 5, 6, 7 hitters. That is some kind of lusty hitting.
Well, you get down the bottom of the order and you don't expect this kind of production, but with Davy Cruz down there in this series, he has 3 hits today. He came into this series with a red-hot bat, but he has really done damage. He had 3 doubles on Friday night, 2 home runs yesterday, another home run and 3 hits today.
Yeah, he has just been feasting on National League pitching. Well, maybe there's something to it. You know, spent the last couple of seasons at San Diego, Buck. So Davy Cruz is blazing on this interleague trip as Willis Roberts works in the bullpen. David Segui, the pinch hitter. See the numbers on Segui, trying to pick up Davy Cruz and tie it back up for the O's.
Segui just 1 for 2 as a pinch hitter, and that's been on this trip, obviously.
Yeah, David got 1 start, and it was in the finale of the Houston series on Thursday night. He started at first base as Pissarro works the outside corner. David went 1 for 4 in the start. You see where he is, 6 for 18 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. So good numbers there. If he can pick up that 7th base hit, he'll tie it up for the Orioles with Davy Cruz at third base just 90 feet away. 1-1 pitch. Make it 2-1.
Doesn't appear as though Pissarro wants to throw Segui that split finger pitch, trying to stay with the fastball away. Switch hitter Brian Roberts is on deck if Segui can keep the inning alive.
On the outside corner, and David Segui not sure about the call from Doug Eddings.
Boy, all day long the Orioles have questioned Edding and his strike zone. That ball is low.
Segui back in. Mike Hargrove continues to fidget a little bit in that Oriole dugout. He's already taken up the cause, what, on 2 different occasions with Doug Eddings. This Cardinal defense swung around just a little bit to right against Segui. 3-2.
And I don't blame the Cardinals for trying to go to that outside corner again. They just got the call out there. And Segui, it's very difficult to hit when you're not sure where the strike zone is. And that ball was off the plate a little further that time. But now he's got to be thinking, you know what, if it's out on that outside corner, I better be hacking it.
The payoff pitch to Segui. David will stay alive. David Segui, of course, reassumed that designated hitter's role for the Orioles after he was able to get back in the lineup. And it's been this week of interleague play that has, as we said, pretty much relegated him to pinch hitting duties, with the exception of the 1 start in Houston. 3-2 pitch. That'll miss in. So Segui in the pinch hitting assignment with a walk from Pissarro. And that'll get Brian Roberts, the switch hitter, to the plate. Buck, it's almost been exclusively right-handed for Brian, left-handed for Brian Roberts. He's only had 3 at-bats as a right-handed hitter.
He is 1 for 3, and that 1 hit was a double, hitting from the right side of the plate. After seeing that at-bat that Segui had against Pissarro, if I'm Brian Roberts, I got to really zero in on a fastball. He hasn't thrown the breaking ball close to the plate, and he tried to get Segui with fastballs away. bounces every breaking ball he throws.
Well, Mike Matheny with another fine stop, or the Orioles would have this one tied up, as that would have been back at the screen.
Well, he's done a job. He has saved about 3 wild pitches here in this inning.
(11-10) St. Louis. We're in the 7th. Orioles have runners on the corners with 2 down, and a 1-0 to Brian Roberts. Look out as that's lined foul over that St. Louis dugout. Notice that during the day games yesterday, today, the ball really flies around this yard.
Now, this time of the year, normally it's middle of summer and 90-degree weather is not unusual, and the ball will really jump.
2-1 now to Brian Roberts. The Orioles this afternoon got 2 in the 4th, 5 in the 5th, and have put 3 more on the board here in inning number 7, and still going. The Roberts hitting story with runners in scoring position. The 2-1 pitch, make it 3-1.
This has been a familiar theme for the Cardinals. Their bullpen is scuffled all year long, and you've got to think that they're out scouring the other teams around baseball, trying to come up with a couple of arms to add to that bullpen.
And a 3-1 pitch to Roberts. This is skied to shallow center for Jim Edmonds. Inning over. Orioles get 3, 2 of them on the Tony Batista 2-run shot, his 10th of the year. Back at Busch Stadium, 11-10, the Cardinals have the lead, and apparently the St. Louis organization did not get the memo that relates to God Bless America being played in all Major League ballparks on Sunday afternoon. So we do apologize if we led you astray. As we head to the bottom of the 7th with Willis Roberts on the mound here. And facing Miguel Cairo, the leadoff man, it would be probably a real good thing for this Orioles bullpen.
Need to throw up a couple of zeros here and give the hitters a chance to make up the difference. Orioles trail at battle run. Willis Roberts on to work the 7th. Top of the order for the Cardinals, and you would think that if he can shut them down here, the Orioles have a chance to get back to even.
Now the 2-2 to Cairo. Make it 3-2 on the right-handed hitting second baseman, who's 0 for 4 today. 21 runs and 32 base hits. And if that won't send pitching staffs all over baseball screaming for cover, I don't know what will.
Tough day at the ballpark.
Broken bat bouncer to Tony Batista. The charge, that throw is high, but Conine got back to the bag to take care of Cairo for out number 1. The Orioles offense going of late, but slugfest made right for them, suited perfectly.
Well, Tony Batista is so true with that arm, but this time he throws it high, but Conine's able to come back down and step on the bag ahead of Miguel Cairo.
Conine gave Tony a little bit of help. Yeah, I think the Orioles will take these kind of games right now, if need be. I mean, obviously, you would like pitching performances like yesterday with Sidney Ponson, but I think Mike Hargrove feels if they're going to get into one of those 13-12 finals, at least the offense has been, for the last 3 weeks, showing that they can win those type of games.
Boy, the hitters have been consistent, haven't they? Now, I can speak as a former manager. You enjoy Sidney Ponson types of games a little bit more than these.
Oh, undoubtedly.
I mean, you don't care what kind of W you get, but certainly these types of games wear on you. You get down, you get up, you get back to even, and then you see the lead slip away late.
And J.D. Drew has had a couple of base hits today. St. Louis again trying to win their 8th on this homestand, a 13-game homestand. Well, there is Cal Eldred. You wonder if Tony La Russa might going to try to get maybe 4 or 5 outs out of the closer, Cal Eldred. Drew off the end of the bat. Fly ball shallow right. Jake Gibbons is there to put it away. Willis Roberts has retired the first 2 that he's faced here in the 7th. And that'll get Albert Pujols to the plate. Pujols on the day has doubled in 4 turns. Leading hitter in all of baseball, the .386, Albert Pujols. Roberts missed with his slider. He's got a 10-game hit streak now, does Pujols. He extended it with that 2-base hit over the bag into the left field corner. And what is he now? 21 for his last 37.
It's very difficult to get the fastball by him on the inside part of the plate. It looks as though you might be able to jam him with a good fastball, but time and time again, he is so quick in there that he's able to get the head out, drive the ball. I think the Orioles have had the most success when they have been able to throw breaking balls over to Pujols and gotten the fastball away.
That's a base hit, center field. Second knock of the day for Albert Pujols. On the ground up the middle. A 2-out single here in the 7th. Before Jim Edmonds gets to the plate, we'll mention to all of you Orioles fans, you know, last Friday over 42,000 of you joined in the fun at Oriole Park for fireworks night and a $5 student night. Now this Friday, June 13th, promises to be another exciting one. Post-game fireworks presented by the good folks at Budweiser, and $5 student night tickets for your tickets to a fantastic fireworks Friday at Oriole Park on June 13th. Call that number you see on your screen if you're a student. Purchase your tickets on game day. Jim Edmonds looking at a called strike. All Edmonds has done today is reach base 4 times and score 4 runs. He's homered twice, had a base hit and drawn a walk. Home runs number 14 and 15 on the year.
I like it better when he gets thrown out. He was thrown out of the game yesterday by Bruce Fleming, the home plate umpire. And boy, he has made sure that he stays in this game today.
And here's Roberts' 1-1 pitch, and that'll miss up and away. Look around Interleague baseball today, and Boston is rolling over Milwaukee as they are late in that one. The Red Sox started today a half game behind the New York Yankees, who play in Wrigley Field tonight. The Edmonds tried to tomahawk that pitch. It was up in the zone. The Toronto Blue Jays today are just getting going in Cincinnati. And the Orioles started today 5.5 back in New York. We said Boston now about ready to go even with the Yankees by virtue of their win this afternoon. And Willis Roberts falling behind Edmonds is 3-2.
This ball is not close to Edmonds. He just doesn't pick it up and ducks out of the way. It's over the plate, but probably above his head.
Missing the target a little bit, Willis Roberts. So Albert Pujols will be off and running on a 3-2 pitch to Edmonds. It's a foul ball. Well, when you look at Jim Edmonds' first 2 trips to the plate, a couple of titanic shots.
That first one, a high fastball in the first inning off Jason Johnson, and then in the 3rd inning, this time he goes deep to center. on a fastball that was down around the knees.
Got 15 on the year. So again, Pujols will go. 3-2 to Edmonds. This is crushed to deep center. Matos on the track, those got room to flag it down. Inning over. Edmonds made a bid to go out again, but Matos raced to the gap to haul it in. Let's go to the 8th. 11-10 St. Louis. Now the Birds got 3 the last time around at the plate, and they've cut this St. Louis deficit to 1 at 11-10. As we take a look at our Corona Extra relaxed fans of the game, and yeah, the Orioles orange and black on display today. Of course, it was the orange and brown yesterday. As these 2 Oriole fans, they saw the Birds. Yeah, hello to you too, as they saw the Orioles on the throwback day, wear the uniforms of the St. Louis Browns and win yesterday 8-1, and now in this 11-10 deficit as we head to the top of the 8th. And it will be Luis Matos at the plate. Matos, Melvin Mora, and Jeff Conine. The Orioles sent 8 hitters to the plate in inning number 7. And, Buck Jeff Facero has been a little bit unusually wild, not able to find the strike zone since he's come on.
Yeah, the only pitch he's been able to get over has been the fastball. And that's certainly an advantage if you're an Oriole hitter facing Facero right now. He has bounced the slider. He has bounced the split finger pitch. And he's pretty much been limited to 1 pitch. But you can bet Matheny will continue to use that breaking ball, trying to get it in the strike zone. Now it's up to the Oriole hitters to be real selective.
As a catcher, when you have a veteran like this on the mound, you just mentioned what Matheny might want to do with Facero, but that's all part of you got a veteran, you believe in him, and coax him back into having him have confidence in the breaking pitch.
You just can't forget about it. You've got to hope that he'll throw 1 or 2 in the strike zone to get confidence in it again. But Matheny is well aware that that is a very important aspect of Facero's pitching style, is to get that breaking ball over and throw that splitter.
Now the 2-2 to Matos. On a line to center. Edmonds tracking back, and he's got room to haul it in. Matos hit it well. But Jim Edmonds back near that 402 mark made the grab for out number 1 here in the 8th. Melvin Mora has extended his hit streak to 20 in a row, but Bucky's also been grand throwing the baseball.
In the 3rd inning, he gunned down Scott Rowland at 3rd base, and then in the 5th inning, with 2 out, Tino Martinez trying to tie the game up at 7-all, is gunned down by Melvin Mora, and he's had quite a series here in St. Louis.
A pair of outfield assists today for Mora to go along with base hits in his last 2 turns at the plate. He scored a couple of runs. So Melvin Mora has now hit in 20 straight games. 10 away from the Eric Davis all-time Orioles record of having hit in 30 in a row back in 1998. Rafael Palmeiro with 24 in 1994. And then you have a group of 4. Robbie Alomar, Bobby Bonilla in 1996. Doug DeCinces and Eddie Murray that hit in 22 straight. And Mora is just a couple away from that group. And you go down to 21 in a row. B.J. Surhoff, Buck, did that twice, and Joe Orsulak, a fine left-handed hitter from the 1980s, also hit in 21 in a row.
It's also impressive that Mora's been able to do it against Houston and St. Louis.
Oh, yeah.
For the 6 games in interleague play. Teams he's not that familiar with. But it gets back to the approach and the mindset. You get good pitches to hit. It doesn't make any difference how much you know about a pitcher. You just know that you're much better off when you're hitting strikes. You're much better off when you're patient and get good counts to hit it.
That'll miss downstairs, so the Orioles have the tying run aboard as Melvin Mora has reached base for the 3rd time this afternoon. What about the longest hit streaks going on right now around the big leagues? Nomar Garciaparra and Kenny Lofton this season have both hit in 26 in a row, and now Mora climbing up on them. And Tony La Russa is going out to Doug Eddings, and I think that's going to be it for Jeff Facero, as there's been a call made to the pen, and possibly La Russa is going to double switch here.
The last batter to hit was Jim Edmonds, and La Russa is talking to Eddings. He has made the appropriate switches. You have to do that first before you go to the mound, so you can let everybody know. And he's going to put the pitcher and then the right fielder. Looks like he's taking out J.D. Drew.
So Cal Eldred to the mound. We'll get your next call to the bullpen and inform you about the double switch as well when we get back in this 11-10 St. Louis lead in the 8th. Baltimore Orioles baseball on the Orioles television network has been brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. More than 2,700 nonstop daily flights to 59 destinations all across the country. And by Aflac. Ask about it at work. Also by Heineken. It's all about the beer, Heineken. By Men's Warehouse. You're going to like the way you look, Men's Warehouse. And also by Geico. You too could save 15% or more on car insurance. Call Geico Direct at 1-800-947-AUTO. Back in St. Louis as the Orioles trying to rally and get back on top in this wild one. 11-10. The Cardinals have the lead. Told you about a double switch that Tony La Russa was going to make. This is So Taguchi, the right fielder, the Japanese product that the Orioles saw in the game on Friday night. And Cal Eldred, Buck, we said maybe Tony La Russa might ask him to get 4 or 5 outs, and that's exactly what he's doing here coming out in the 8th.
Well, La Russa doesn't have many options. Same for Mike Hargrove at this point. You just got to figure out if you can close out a ball game, and he's going to ask that Cal Eldred get 5 outs. Hargrove did it on Friday night with his closer, Jorge Julio, and Pujols spoiled that move. Eldred pitched in Friday's game, as Michael mentioned, and he picked up his 6th save. He struck out Louis Matos and Melvin Moore, and then got Conine to fly out to left field in a 1-2-3 ninth.
And the longtime starter around Major League Baseball, Cal Eldred, now facing Jeff Conine. Conine, after 2 hits yesterday to break the skid, 2 more today. First pitch swinging, and he popped it up against Eldred. Tino Martinez down toward the plate in front of the mound to put it away. 1 pitch and 1 out for Eldred. What has made this longtime starter now effective to work in the pressure situations as a closer?
Throwing strikes. He has tremendous command of his fastball, and he comes in anxious to throw strikes, pitch ahead. He'll throw a fastball and a slider, occasional curveball, but as a closer, he just comes in and throws strikes, and he won't walk himself into tough situations. And he's got the confidence, because of his experience, that he can come in and do that. Challenge the hitters to put it in play.
Jay Gibbons, speaking of taking strikes, takes a look at a call from Cal Eldred. Gibbons had a good day at the plate. Jay is 3 for 4. He's doubled, driven in a couple of runs. Now 40 RBI on the year. Jeff Conine, the club leader, with 45. Gibbons tried to check it, and he went too far as Eldred got him to expand that strike zone.
Yeah, they have thrown him a lot of breaking balls out of the zone down, and you can see that Jay went too far. He had a fastball on his mind, committed too early, and that breaking ball fooled him.
Melvin Moore at first base, carrying the potential tying run. Gibbons with a base hit left center field. Moore is going to head to third. Pujols, who has trouble with that throwing arm, the baseball back to the middle of the diamond, and Jay Gibbons got a 4-hit afternoon as the Orioles now with 16 base hits. Tony Batista today has also had a big day at the plate, Buck, with a double, a single, and the 2-run home run.
Well, Tony has really been swinging the bat well. This one in front of Pujols, and then he hits one over Pujols' head into the seats in left field, high above the left field wall for Batista. That was his 10th home run. Lots of hitters enjoying a lot of success here today. Batista's average now up to 276.
Tony has come a long, long way as he had slid down under the 230 mark. But Batista, of course, he had that 12-game hit streak, and a week ago today against Texas, he was a 400 hitter during the streak. And now has an opportunity to tie it up with a base hit here off Cal Eldred. Will miss down and away. Moore at third base, Gibbons at first base, with St. Louis up by a run in the 8th. 21 runs and 34 base hits, and still not done. That's a called strike. How about the Orioles' 5, 6, 7 hitters today? We showed you how St. Louis has done in a third of their lineup. Look at this.
That's a pretty good day. 10 for 13 with a pair of long balls and 9 runs driven in.
That's Gibbons, Batista, and Davy Cruz. And that's a called strike as Eldred's ahead at 1 and 2. So Tony deciding not to pull the trigger, and now is in the 1 and 2 hole against Cal Eldred.
Well, they threw him another fastball. I thought they'd throw him a breaking ball with 2 strikes. And Tony has been all over the fastball here today. Eldred now has a count 1 and 2. He didn't like that baseball. He's going to ask for a new one. But a 1 and 2 count. He's got a little room to work here. He can throw a breaking ball to Batista, trying to miss off the plate away. See if he can get Tony to chase. Looks like it's going to be the slider.
1-2 pitch. Batista did not offer.
That's a close pitch. It's not exactly where Eldred wanted it. A little higher than he would like, but there have been pitches all day long today like that have been called strikes.
And the 2-2 to Batista. Got him swinging. Thread over, inning over. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Big strikeout for Eldred. Orioles threaten, can't tie it up as Eldred fans Batista. Still 11-10 St. Louis. Orioles find themselves down by a run here in the bottom of the 8th at 11-10. All right, those fans, exclusively Orioles premium package. Best tickets in Major League Baseball are being made available for you. We're talking about field box seats in the first few rows, between the bases, around the dugouts, around home plate at Oriole Park. They're being packaged in 10-game plans with premium parking and other exclusive amenities. And what you do is call 410-547-6284 first thing tomorrow morning. And operators will be standing by to customize an exclusively Orioles package that's right for you. You won't want to miss this deal for some of the best seats at the best ballpark in Major League Baseball.
And the way the Orioles are playing right now, swinging the bats, it's pretty exciting baseball. And to be front and center at Camden Yards is a pretty special seat. Plus the Cubs and the Brewers coming to town to round out the second week of interleague play. And good week of baseball coming up.
You got to believe that the offense will stay at a premium, just like the Orioles exclusively premium ticket package for you. As Willis Roberts will bend that slider in for a called strike. Scott Rowland, Willis Roberts' job is to get him cooled off and prevent a 5-for-5 day from Rowland. He has had a 4-for-4 afternoon at the plate. Got the average up to 298. It's 5-for-12 in the series. Till today, the Orioles had held him down, but that grand slam home run is 12th of the year, and now 50 runs driven in for Rowland. We talked about some of the years that Rowland had in Philadelphia. As you look at Buddy Groom, the left-hander, getting ready to go. Scott Rowland, a .281 career hitter coming into this year, as he got jammed by Willis Roberts. I would say the best year for Rowland was in '98 with Philly, when he hit just about 300 with 31 home runs and drove in 110 runs. .290 hitter that season in Philadelphia.
He had different bouts with back trouble while he was in Philly and never really enjoyed a injury-free season, just kind of a nagging situation. Most games he plays was in 2001 when he was able to play in 151 games.
Payoff pitch struck him out. Roberts got rolling to expand the zone for the first out here in the 8th.
Well, he tied him up, ran that ball up and in, and you can see it looks like it's a high breaking ball. He may have gotten away with one there. But Rowland strikes out. First time today he's been retired.
Look at Edgar Renteria to the plate. Renteria base hit his last turn and stole the bag as fouls off the Roberts fastball. In the top of the 9th for the O's, Davy Cruz, Brooke Fordyce, and then in the number 9 spot, the Willis Roberts spot in the lineup. David Segui has already been used as a pinch hitter. B.J. Surhoff was ejected very early in the game today for too much verbiage apparently from the Orioles dugout. So for pinch hitting opportunities, Mike Hargrove has Carlos Mendez in the dugout. He's got Geronimo Gil there. And let's see, that would be it as far as the extra men go.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Mendez hit in the pitcher spot. He's really swung the bat well, right?
Yeah, he has. The Orioles are very pleased with what they've seen offensively from Mendez. 1-2 pitch. Got Renteria. And a splitter from Willis Roberts to fan Edgar Renteria. So back-to-back Ks for Roberts.
Yeah, that's a big outing for Willis Roberts. He has had some tough outings lately. That's a great splitter there. Started down at the knees, broke into the dirt. And he has recorded his second strikeout of the inning in the tough part of the lineup.
So here's Tino Martinez now, who is 2 for 3 officially, but he's been aboard all 4 times today. He reached on a Jeff Conine error and scored a run. Was cut down at the plate by Melvin Mora, then doubled in 2 runs in the 5th and walked his last turn. Well, that 2-run double that Martinez hit in the 5th, it was a key part of this one because a drive over the head of Jay Gibbons, but Gibbons had the baseball in his glove on the track and saw it pop out and drop to the ground for the 2-base hit. And at the time, the Orioles were on top 7-4, so it made it a 7-6 game.
Yeah, it was certainly a makeable play for Gibbons, and he kind of drifted on the ball, but he did get his glove on it.
That 1-1 pitch is chopped wide to first. Jeff Conine with a flip to Roberts. Inning over. Willis Roberts got the job done in the 7th and the 8th. Let's go to the 9th. The Orioles need 1. They trail St. Louis 11-10. A lot of numbers there, huh? Through the first 8 crooked numbers. 11-10, St. Louis with the lead. This copyrighted telecast of Orioles baseball is presented by the authority of the Baltimore Orioles. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Baltimore Orioles. With Buck Martinez, I'm Michael Regai, our producer Chip Winfield, director Bob Whitelaw, Brian Rome handling our graphics packages today, and there's been a lot of crooked numbers to deal with. And Buck, the Orioles right now need 1 here in the top of the 9th for Mike Hargrove, as the bats have produced 10 runs and 16 base hits. It'll be 7, 8, and 9, but the Orioles like the fact we've got Davy Cruz at the plate to lead things off. Cruz on a 3-for-4 afternoon and has raised his average 96 points since the 8th of May up to 263.
8 for 12 in this series.
11 hits on the road trip. So he had the 3 doubles in here on Friday night, 2 home runs yesterday, and the home run today. 6 of his 8 hits have been for extra bases for Cruz. And that is going to get in the seats right beyond that St. Louis dugout.
Well, Davey has really been able to hit the ball hard and hit those home runs, 3 in the last 2 games, simply because he's having good approach at the plate. He's thinking about line drives. He's getting good pitches to hit, not trying to muscle the ball out of the ballpark.
Now the 1-1 pitch. Popped up. Will that be playable? It's going to be. Maybe Martinez right near that railing to put it away. Now Davy Cruz was trying to get the baseball to drift a little bit and get back on top of that dugout, but Martinez had room.
Cal Eldred made another good pitch on Davy Cruz, and Eldred asked to get the 5 outs, is giving up just 1 hit. Came on with 1 out in the 8th and a runner at third base.
There's Brooke Fordyce now to try to get it started. Ground ball right back at Eldred. They'll throw out Fordyce as the Orioles are down to their final out, and they will send pinch hitter Carlos Mendez to the plate. Mendez the pinch hit for Willis Roberts with the bases empty and 2 down here in the 9th.
Well, Mendez has some power. He just missed hitting a home run in Houston in a pinch hitting at bat. He hit it off the top of the fence in left center.
With Carlos, there you see the 333 mark on the year. And off the bench and trying to be aggressive and attack Cal Eldred. It's been a wild one here this afternoon. The Orioles trail it by a run after they battled back from another 4-0 deficit, only to see St. Louis storm back and take the lead. 0-2 on Carlos Mendez. Bounce right side. Cairo to Pickett. He'll throw out Mendez. St. Louis has won this series 2-1 as they hold on and beat the Birds the final at 11-10. So the Orioles offense, when you put 10 runs and 16 base hits on the board, it should be more than enough to come away with a winner. But it didn't happen today for Mike Hargrove, as once again the Orioles bullpen had a lot of problems. 11-10 your final. Buck and I'll come back and tell you more about it as the Cardinals beat the Orioles. More happening out of Busch Stadium on the Orioles Television Network.